Chapter 2017. Tilda. Just now, right coiling Tiger was just threatening Lin Yi, so he didn't think so much. Now that Lin Yi actually dragged Boss Bai into it, how could he snatch it? Although the information was now with Lin Yi, wasn't robbing Lin Yi the same as robbing Boss Bai? Right coiling Tiger definitely didn't dare to do this kind of thing, unless he didn't want to live anymore. One must know that the people of the Heavenly Elixir sect would sometimes compare some alchemy skills with Boss Bai. Right coiling Tiger didn't have such guts. What? Are you listless? You just told me in the morning that alchemists and cultivators are all floating clouds in front of Boss Bai. Right coiling Tiger, you still want to show off with the masters of the right family? Lin Yi looked at right coiling Tiger with a sneer. Fuck, if you don't want to give it to me, then don't give it to me. I was just joking. Right coiling Tiger waved his hand and snorted. You, Lin Yi, are not scared. Are you afraid of a few words? I don't believe it. Since you don't believe it, please. I don't have time to talk nonsense with you, Lin Yi said and strode away with the information. Looking at the back of Lin Yi leaving, right coiling Tiger was so angry that he gritted his teeth. Why are you so arrogant? What the hell? Didn't you just accidentally save Boss Bai once? You're so arrogant just because you got some good treasures. However, right coiling Tiger was obviously the type to say sour grapes. He looked at Boss Bai's office, hesitated, and still didn't knock on the door. Instead, he turned around and followed Lin Yi out of the faculty building of the biology department. Right coiling Tiger was a little unwilling. He really wanted to know what the information in Lin Yi's hands was, but Lin Yi was obviously not stupid. He wouldn't let him see it for free, so right coiling Tiger was thinking if he could find some benefits to exchange with Lin Yi. After all, the purpose of studying here was actually to learn some knowledge from Boss Bai. Now that Lin Yi got it, it seemed worth it to pay a little price to exchange the information from Lin Yi. But, how could he move Lin Yi's heart? He hesitated and decided to discuss it with his family when he had the time. He wanted to see if there was anything he could use to trade with Lin Yi. If that didn't work, he could buy it with money. But he couldn't rob it. If this thing was not given to Lin Yi by coiling Tiger, right coiling Tiger might have really robbed it, but now was definitely not. Lin Yi watched right coiling Tiger wander behind him and didn't pay attention to him. Before, Lin Yi deliberately didn't show the information in his hands to right coiling Tiger. Although the information was not important, Lin Yi wanted to deliberately annoy right coiling Tiger. This guy seemed to be eavesdropping, so Lin Yi didn't mind using what he said in the morning to deal with him. As long as he didn't dare to make trouble in front of Boss Bai, then Lin Yi wasn't afraid of him. Even if it was an ordinary street item, Lin Yi didn't want to show it to him on purpose. It was just that what Lin Yi didn't expect was that right coiling Tiger actually regarded the thing in his hands as a treasure, and was ready to exchange it with benefits or buy it with money. If Lin Yi knew about it, he might not know whether to laugh or cry at his own lucky hit. On the way back to the dorm, Lin Yi bought a boxed lunch from the cafeteria. It was already past the meal time, but the boxed lunch was still sold until the evening. Back in the dorm, Bai Weituo saw Lin Yi and said, "Brother Lin, my grandpa is looking for you." "It's nothing, he gave me some information." "Do you want to take a look?" Lin Yi said as he waved the thing in his hand. "No, I can't play with those things." It seemed that Bai Weituo already knew what Lin Yi was holding in his hand. It seemed like he didn't know at all. It was a completely different concept from right coiling Tiger. "How is Zhong Duopan? He didn't give you any trouble, right?" asked Lin Yi. "Not really, but last night was really bad. The meal didn't cost much, but in the end, he bought a cup. He was screwed to death." Bai Weituo thought it was funny when he mentioned what happened last night. The funniest thing is, in front of Hima Yu, this kid was acting like a big shot. He was beaten until his teeth fell into his stomach. Ha! Lin Yi smiled as he opened the lunchbox and quickly ate. Zhong Duopan really didn't have the mood to find trouble with Bai Weituo. He had enough troubles on his own side. After trying for a long time, he still didn't have enough money for Cheng Yi's appearance fee. Zhong Duopan had no choice but to call his father, Zhong Fengfeng. "Hello. Son, how was it? Was the performance successful?" Did you successfully capture your little girlfriend's heart? Did you take her to a hotel room yesterday? If she's pregnant, you must tell me. Your grandpa is waiting for you to carry on the family line. Zhong Fengfeng was a person with a strong concept of carrying on the family line. He believed that there were 3 ways to be unfilial. His father was looking forward to having a great-grandchild. So Zhong Fengfeng waited for Zhong Duopan to go to university before he started thinking about it. Otherwise, he wouldn't have helped his son and invited a celebrity just to chase a girl. Don't mention it, Dad. She invited Xu Shahan yesterday. I lost. Zhong Duopan smiled bitterly. My plan to chase a girl is going to be put on hold. What? Then don't you have to give up on that, my you? Motherfucker, what the hell are you doing? Your grandpa is waiting for you to have a great-grandchild. You don't even have a girlfriend. How am I going to explain this to him? Zhong Fengfeng said angrily. Why the fuck did you make a bet? Is it good now? No. Your son actually relied on his intelligence to successfully turn the situation around. The bet is actually invalid. Zhong Duopan heard his father say this, but in his heart, he secretly thought that this was a good opportunity. If he used it well, then the money would come, so he quickly told Zhong Fengfeng how he turned the situation around yesterday. Not bad. You're good. Now we're even. What do you plan to do next? Zhong Fengfeng nodded in satisfaction. Dad, I'm treating them. I spent quite a lot of money. Who knew that the hotel would scam people? They charged 5,000 yuan for a cup. I swiped my card, but I didn't even have the money to pay Chengyi. Zhong Duopan said carefully. Oh, I've settled the money for Chengyi. You don't have to worry about it. You did the right thing by treating them. Otherwise, you wouldn't have the chance to turn the situation around. Zhong Fengfeng didn't blame Zhong Duopan, but your opponent is very cunning. You have to be careful. Don't worry, Dad. I plan to invite them to the Tiger Park this weekend. I'll take the chance to get closer to He My Yu. It's the Tiger Park that Uncle Su opened in Donghai, Zhong Duopan said. Fan Ganhe and I will think of a way to embarrass by way to awe. He My Yu will look down on him. Tilde target equals _ blank. Chapter 2018. Oh, okay, I'll give your Uncle Su a call and tell him to get someone to work with you, but the entrance fee can't be waived. You should spend the money yourself. Old Su and someone else invested in the Tiger Park. He can't just give it to you for free. Zhong Fengfeng said. It's fine, just work with me. Thanks, Dad. Zhong Duopan was overjoyed. Not only did this call solve all of his problems, but the trip to the Tiger Park was even more assured now. That's not the main thing. You need to get me a girlfriend and continue the family line. That's the most important thing. Got it? Zhong Fengfeng said. Got it. Don't worry, Dad. I'll get it done. Zhong Duopan said with a smile. Everything was done, and Zhong Duopan's face was full of smiles. He'd walked out of the shadow of yesterday's scam. In the afternoon, Lin Yi and Bai Weituo went to the biology building together. He saw Yu Coiling Tiger looking at him expectantly as he walked in. Lin Yi smiled and waved the documents in his hand. He grinned at Yu Coiling Tiger before ignoring him and sitting down next to Wang Xinyan. Fuck, what are you so cocky about? You think you're so great just because you got Boss Bai's teachings? Yu Coiling Tiger cursed, a little pissed off. Just wait until I get home and find a good treasure. You'll trade with me. Tempage for me. Yeah, Master Yu, that Lin Yi kid hasn't seen much of the world. We're a hidden house of House Yu. Any good treasure is enough to make him drool over it. He'll trade. The yellow hair nodded. Yeah, 2 or 3 more days won't matter. The purple hair said. Lin Yi sat down, and Wang Xinyan looked up at Lin Yi. Lin Yi, I heard from my Yu that she wants to invite us to the Tiger Park this weekend. Are you free? If not, I'll just reject it. I'm not going either. Why not? It's tiring to go to class every day. It's good to relax on the weekend. Lin Yi smiled. Or do you not want to go with me? I'm not. I'm just worried that Meng Yaro and Yu Shu won't like us going out together. It'll cause you trouble. Xinyan blushed. Then why don't they go together? Lin Yi said. Together. Xinyan didn't know why, but she felt a little disappointed all of a sudden. All right, I'll talk to Mayu tonight and have her tell Jong Duopan. But you talked to Bai Weituo. Mayu said she's worried that Jong Duopan might try something. Why didn't she say it herself? Lin Yi asked with a smile. Mayu, she's not sure if she can be with Bai Weituo, and she's high school friends with Jong Duopan. Wouldn't she be betraying her old classmate if Jong Duopan found out about it? Xinyan shook her head. Lin Yi frowned. This Mayu was really indecisive, but this was Bai Weituo's business. He couldn't say much, so he said, okay, I'll tell him. Okay. Xinyan nodded before turning back to her book. Xinyan didn't know if she was playing with fire ever since the military training. Her relationship with Lin Yi had gotten a lot closer. She didn't know what other people would think if they kept this up, but she knew that she was starting to rely on Lin Yi a little. Every time she went to class and waited for him to sit beside her, she would feel at ease. They didn't talk much, but Xinyan felt that it was a kind of tacit understanding. But Xinyan's heart sank every time she thought about her engagement. She felt a little uneasy. Xinyan thought that Lin Yi was very strong, but House Kang wasn't the same as before. She heard that House Kang had found a powerful backer, or else family Xiao wouldn't be so eager to get married to House Kang, even with the hidden House Pai's support. Man! Xinyan sighed as she looked back at her textbook. She'd put these headaches aside for now. She'd be happy every day, and at least she was happy and at ease right now. She enjoyed sitting at the same table with Lin Yi, having class together. Lin Yi stopped by Weituo after class, telling him about Jong Duopan's plan and Meiue's message. Mayu really told Da to tell me. Bai Weituo was very excited after hearing Lin Yi's words. Yes. Lin Yi was speechless. Why was Mayu so happy that she didn't tell Bai Weituo herself? That's great. I still have a slight advantage over Jong Duopan. Bai Weituo smiled. Lin Yi paused, realizing why Bai Weituo was so happy. He was thinking too much. Mayu was different from his girlfriends. Xiao Xiao was the one who took the initiative to chase him, and it was a very purposeful kind. He didn't have any competitors at all, and Xiao Xiao didn't have any feelings for other guys either. That was why he was so critical of Meiue's actions. But when he thought about it, Mayu and Jong Duopan were really old classmates, and Bai Weituo joined later. From this point alone, Mayu was already very good to Bai Weituo. After school today, Lin Yi didn't let Han Jingjing wait for nothing. He called her to the parking lot, and Han Jingjing was very happy that Lin Yi thought of her. Brother Lin Yi, you finally remembered Jingjing. That's great. Han Jingjing didn't hold the tablet to write or draw, but she talked to Lin Yi. Yesterday's incident. I'm really sorry. Lin Yi smiled bitterly. If it weren't for yesterday's incident, Lin Yi wouldn't pay so much attention to it. It's nothing. I just caught a cold. Achoo. Han Jingjing sneezed. It wasn't obvious in the morning, but she didn't expect it to get worse and worse after school. You caught a cold? Lin Yi saw Han Jingjing's situation and immediately frowned. He said, take some medicine when you go back. Oh, how about this? I'll go over and help you treat it. I have something important to tell you tonight. Okay. Han Jingjing nodded. Brother Lin Yi, what important matter do you have for Jingjing? You'll know when you go back, said Lin Yi. Oh. Han Jingjing nodded. The two went to the parking lot, and Lin Yi opened the door and got in with Han Jingjing. They waited quietly for Meng Yaro, Yu Shu, and Han Xiaochao. Chapter 2019. Tilda Chapter 2032. Flu treating colds was different from high school. The teacher wouldn't drag the class on, and the class would usually end when it was time. And so, very quickly, Meng Yaro, Yu Shu, and Han Jingjing came over. After they got in the car, Lin Yi started the car and headed straight to the college Shong district. The group had a tacit understanding already, so they didn't need to say anything. Back home, Grandma's son was cooking dinner. Lin Yi said to Meng Yaro, Yaro, I'm going to Han Jingjing's for a bit. I have some things to discuss with her. You guys eat first, no need to wait for me. You're going to Han Jingjing's? Meng Yaro paused. Lin Yi didn't seem to be interested in Han Jingjing at all. He'd only brought them some food last night, and he'd come back immediately after that. They hadn't even talked much, so why was he going over to Han Jingjing's place today? Yeah, Han Jingjing wants to learn pill making, so I'm going to discuss it with her. Lin Yi smiled bitterly. You guys know about the 2-year promise I made with Bingtang, but I haven't made any progress in my pill making skills. Han Jingjing likes pill making, so it'd be great if she could do it. I see. The miss realized why Lin Yi would go to Han Jingjing on his own accord. This Han Jingjing didn't have a brain, and Lin Yi didn't really like her. Without a reason, Lin Yi wouldn't go visit her. Naturally, the miss wouldn't stop Xiao Xiao. She nodded. Go, don't worry about us. If it's too late, Shu and I will rest first. Okay. Lin Yi nodded and left the villa with the needles. He went to Han Jingjing's villa next door and pressed the doorbell. It hadn't even been a second since Lin Yi pressed the doorbell, and the door opened. Han Jingjing was standing there as if she was waiting for Lin Yi, scaring Lin Yi. Why did you open the door so quickly? Lin Yi was a little surprised by Han Jingjing's speed. I've been waiting for you at the door. Han Jingjing said, you pressed the doorbell, so I opened the door. You've been waiting for me here since you got home? The corner of Lin Yi's mouth twitched. He felt that Han Jingjing's actions couldn't be understood with common sense. Yeah. Han Jingjing nodded and said, I'm afraid that I'll be busy later and won't hear the doorbell. You'll be silly waiting for me at the door. It doesn't feel good to wait for someone. Jing felt terrible yesterday, so I don't want big brother Lin Yi to wait too. Okay, thank you. Jing, you're the best. Lin Yi sighed. It had to be said that although Han Jingjing's thinking was a bit weird, Lin Yi was still very touched at the moment. He also felt sorry for leaving Han Jingjing in the parking lot yesterday. Jing is the best. Han Jingjing nodded in agreement. Because big brother Lin Yi is good to Jing is also good to big brother Lin Yi. Yesterday, Lin Yi was even more apologetic. Yesterday, Jing knew that big brother Lin Yi didn't mean it, so Jing didn't mind, said Han Jingjing. Well, let's cure your cold first. Lin Yi said, then I have something important to tell you. Where's Han Xiaochao? He's reading upstairs. Do you have something to talk to him about? Asked Han Jingjing. It's nothing. Lin Yi shook his head. Did he not catch a cold? No, he seems to be fine, said Han Jingjing. That's good. Lin Yi said, you sit on the sofa. I'll help you with acupuncture. Can acupuncture cure a cold? Han Jingjing was a little confused. Don't I need to take medicine? No, acupuncture will do. Lin Yi said, others may not be able to do it, but I can. Oh, that's good. Han Jingjing nodded obediently and sat on the sofa, but she still asked with some worry, Big brother Lin Yi, does acupuncture hurt? It doesn't hurt. As Lin Yi said this, he took out the silver needle and sterilized it with his true energy. He seemed to insert it into Han Jingjing's body casually. In fact, Lin Yi's accuracy couldn't be higher. Okay, don't move. It will be fine in a while. After Lin Yi inserted the needle, he pinched the end of the silver needle and infused a little true energy. It's so hot. Han Jingjing's beautiful forehead was covered in a thin layer of sweat, and her body was also drenched. I think I've gotten some good water. Poof. Lin Yi's hand that was pinching the silver needle shook slightly. A lot of water. Han Jingjing's words were really ambiguous. If it weren't for Han Jingjing's big watery eyes that were full of innocence, Lin Yi would really think that Han Jingjing was on him. However, after Lin Yi heard this, he still had a little reaction. He coughed awkwardly and quickly sat on the sofa on the side. He said, okay, wait for a while. Oh, okay. Han Jingjing didn't seem to notice the physiological changes in Lin Yi's body. She trusted Lin Yi and nodded. After a while, Lin Yi calmed his heartbeat and put away the silver needle. He didn't expect a girl like Han Jingjing to be very lethal sometimes. Is she very cute now? Okay, you go take a bath. Wash off the sweat on your body. Lin Yi said, I will wait for you here. Are you going to take a bath now? Han Jingjing was slightly stunned. Then you, wait for me here. I'm really sorry. Do you want to watch TV? What are you eating tonight? Lin Yi asked. Instant noodles or takeout? Han Jingjing said, what's wrong? Nothing. You take a bath first. I'll go back and take a look. I'll get some food from home. Let's eat together. Lin Yi said. That's fine. Thank you, Lin Yi bro. Han Jingjing said. Lin Yi nodded and left Han Jingjing's villa. He returned to his own villa. Miss and Shu had already finished eating. They were watching TV in the living room. When she saw Lin Yi coming back, Meng Yaro asked, Lin Yi, did you talk about the things over there? I left some food for you. It's in the kitchen. It shouldn't be cold yet. You can heat it up and eat it. I haven't talked about it yet. Han Jingjing caught a cold. I just cured her. Lin Yi said, now that Han Jingjing went to take a bath, I came back to get some food to eat with her. Oh. Shield bro, did you touch Han Jingjing as well? Just like that day with Wang Xinyan? Yushu suddenly asked. Sweat. Lin Yi waved the silver needle in his hand and said, this time I have silver needles. I don't need to take off my clothes or touch her. Oh, so you touched Wang Xinyan on purpose last time? Yushu asked. I didn't bring my silver needles last time. Lin Yi said. Tilda. Chapter 2020. Date, November 1st NBSB, but you can go back to the room to get it. Yushu said. 1*1*, my needles were contaminated last time, so I can't use them anymore, Lin Yi said. Then you can buy a new one, Yushu said. Alright Shu, if you want Lin Yi to touch you, just say it, no need to find so many excuses. Meng Yaro interrupted Yushu. Ah. Yaro, you're the king of truth, Yushu said, shocked. You're even better than truth Shu. I've lived with you for so long, how could I not know what you're thinking? Meng Yaro curled her lips, but you're only good at talking, why don't you go push me down if you can? Ooh. Shield bro doesn't like tough Shu. Yushu said. Lin Yi didn't expect the miss to say something like that, and he sweated. It seemed like Yaro, him, and Shu were really familiar with each other. The miss was treating him more and more like a part of the family, not hiding anything in front of him. You guys talk, I'll bring the dishes over. Lin Yi shook his head, admiring Meng Yaro for being able to see through Shu with one look. Even Lin Yi felt like he couldn't see through Yushu. Although Yushu said that she liked him, Lin Yi felt that there was something hidden under Yushu's straightforward personality, different from Xiaoxiao's straightforwardness. Perhaps if he and Xiaoxiao stayed together for a long time, something beyond friendship would happen naturally, but with Shu, Lin Yi felt that it wouldn't happen. Even Lin Yi himself didn't know why. Maybe it was because the two of them had been living together for so long, and there really wasn't anything going on. Or maybe it was because of him and Yushu. Although there were small flirtatious moments, there hadn't been a single real flirtatious moment. But there was one thing he was sure of, Yushu seemed to have feelings for him, but it was a strange feeling. It seemed right in front of his eyes, yet far away at the same time. Lin Yi couldn't figure out little Shu's thoughts. This girl was sometimes smart and sometimes silly, but to say that she was silly, actually, it wasn't that silly. In short, some things were very strange. Lin Yi brought the food to Han Jingjing's villa. The food in Lin Yi's hands was enough for 3 people. Just now, when Lin Yi left, he didn't lock the door. However, the door was unlocked, so there was no need to press the doorbell this time. After placing the dishes on the dining table, Lin Yi quietly waited for Han Jingjing to finish showering and come down. Han Jingjing probably just took a shower and didn't spend too much time. Obviously, she didn't want to keep Lin Yi waiting for too long. They didn't bathe for too long. Otherwise, Lin Yi knew how long girls took to bathe. Miss and Shu took a long time to bathe. Big brother Lin Yi. I made you wait for a long time. Han Jingjing changed into a set of pajamas. The loose nightgown revealed her body, and Lin Yi didn't dare to continue looking. This Han Jingjing's body seemed to be quite good. If Lin Yi didn't know Han Jingjing's personality, he would think that Han Jingjing was deliberately seducing him. She had been seducing him ever since she came out of the water, but Lin Yi knew that Han Jingjing's personality was silly. She probably didn't have such thoughts, so Lin Yi could only think that she was familiar with him and didn't guard against him. No, I just came back. Lin Yi said, ask Han Xiaoqiao to come down and have a meal with us. Wow, so much food. Big brother Lin Yi, you're so amazing. You came back and made so much food. Han Jingjing was overjoyed when she saw the food on the table. Yesterday's food was so delicious. Xiao Chao and I didn't eat enough. I didn't expect to eat again today. It's much better than the takeout from those restaurants. Oh. Lin Yi didn't explain that he didn't cook today's food, but Grandma Sun's cooking was quite good. Han Jingjing picked up the phone next to the stairs and dialed the intercom in Han Xiaochao's room. She asked Han Xiaochao to come and eat. Then she ran to Lin Yi's side and sat down. The fragrance of shower gel made Lin Yi feel refreshed. Han Xiaochao was obviously the nerd type. He was even more nerdy than Han Jingjing. When he went downstairs, he was still holding a textbook. He walked to the table and put the textbook down. He looked at the food on the table and was a little surprised. Sister, it's so sumptuous. I haven't eaten such a sumptuous meal in a long time. Big brother Lin Yi brought it. Han Jingjing said. Thank you, big brother Lin Yi. Han Xiaochao said shyly. Okay, hurry up and eat. Lin Yi said. Han Jingjing and Han Xiaochao buried their heads to eat, but Han Jingjing ate 2 mouthfuls and wondered, today's food doesn't seem to be cooked by big brother Lin Yi. It's not the same as yesterday's, but it's still delicious. You can tell. Lin Yi was a little surprised. He didn't expect Han Jingjing to be so powerful. She could immediately tell that today's food wasn't made by him. Han Jingjing nodded. It feels like the heat is different. Today's food was made by my housekeeper, Grandma Sun, but Grandma Sun's cooking is also very good. Lin Yi said. Han Jingjing didn't say anything and lowered her head to eat. Han Jingjing's appetite wasn't big, so she was full soon. Han Xiaochao could eat a lot and ate 3 bowls of rice. However, after eating, Han Xiaochao took the textbook upstairs and didn't care about Lin Yi and Han Jingjing. Han Jingjing was about to clean up the dishes, but she was stopped by Lin Yi. Han Jingjing, wait a minute. Don't clean up yet. Wait until I finish talking to you. Alright, Lin Yi bro. Han Jingjing nodded and stopped in her tracks. Lin Yi sat on the sofa, and Han Jingjing followed. Han Jingjing, haven't you always wanted to learn alchemy? I have a copy of the information here, but after I give it to you, don't tell anyone, especially not to you Panhu. Lin Yi said that although Boss Bai said that this thing was a street stall, Lin Yi didn't want to show it to others. Han Jingjing nodded quickly with a happy face. Don't worry, big brother Lin Yi. Jingjing will never show it to others. I won't show it even if I die. It's like protecting my body from other men. That's a bit too much. Lin Yi was stunned. Protecting my body from other men? Then am I considered something else? Lin Yi shook his head. What's going on with this Han Jingjing? Seducing me again and again. To say that she's stupid, it doesn't seem that she's too stupid. It's just that her thinking logic is not the same as normal people. But to say that she's not stupid, why is she like a child? To be continued. Chapter 2021. Han Jingjing's stupidity was completely different from Yushu's stupidity. It's not serious, Jingjing will treasure it. Han Jingjing nodded. Alright, up to you. This is an auxiliary mental cultivation method for alchemists, and this is the mental cultivation method for alchemists to condense Dan fire. You can try to cultivate these two. First, cultivate the auxiliary mental cultivation method, then try to condense Dan fire. Lin Yi gave the information Boss Bai gave him to Han Jingjing. Scan it and put it in your tablet, it's too eye-catching. I got this from someone else. Before Han Jingjing achieved anything, Lin Yi didn't want people to know too much. Alright, Jingjing will scan it in a bit. Han Jingjing nodded. Alright, Han Jingjing, study it yourself, I'll go back first, Lin Yi said. Lin Yi bro, just call me Jingjing from now on, that's my nickname, everyone at home calls me that. Han Jingjing said, calling me Han Jingjing sounds too distant. Alright, I'll call you Jingjing then. Lin Yi didn't reject it and left with a nod. When he got home, the Miss and Shu hadn't rested yet. Lin Yi didn't actually waste much time, he just ate with Han Jingjing and Xiaochao and gave the things Boss Bai gave him to Han Jingjing, giving her some instructions. Lin Yi, how was it? Does Han Jingjing know how to concoct pills? Meng Yaro saw Lin Yi come back and quickly asked. In her heart, she was even more worried than Lin Yi. Tang Yun was already gone, and even if she didn't want to, Xiao Xiao wouldn't be able to come back. It's not that fast, Lin Yi smiled bitterly. Concocting pills isn't that easy, you'll have to wait for a while to see. I see, I was too impatient. Meng Yao smiled embarrassedly and looked at Shu. Yao, why are you looking at me like that? Yushu didn't know what was going on. Is there something on my face? Phut. Meng Yao couldn't take it anymore. Didn't you have something to say to your shield bro? Me? Something? Yushu blinked. No. Why not? Have you forgotten? Ahem. Meng Yao's eyes widened. No. Sister Yao. What are you talking about? Yushu looked at Meng Yao, confused. That's it. Meng Yao said as she reached her hand into Yushu's clothes and pulled. Ah. Yao. Yushu shrieked before coming to a sudden realization. Yao was talking about underwear. Oh right, shield bro. Where are my and sister Yaoiro's underwear? Meng Yao didn't know what to say. She was too embarrassed to ask. If you keep asking, I might as well ask myself. What the hell is going on? Underwear, I would have forgotten about it if you didn't mention it. Lin Yi just remembered that he put the underwear in the trunk of the car, but Han Jingjing and Han Xiaochao were in the car, and then Xu Shahan came. Lin Yi was too embarrassed to take the underwear out in front of Shahan, so he forgot about it after a long time. He patted his head and said apologetically, I'll get it for you now. With that, Lin Yi turned around and left the villa. He went to the car to get the underwear box and put it on the coffee table in the living room. Shield bro, when you helped us pack the underwear, did you see anything special? Yushu asked. Ha! Meng Yao almost had the urge to strangle Yushu. Lin Yi put the underwear box on the coffee table and didn't say anything. He was about to go back to his room when you reminded him. Lin Yi paused. He turned around and opened the underwear box in front of Meng Yao and Yushu. He took out the electric stick and asked, Are you talking about this? Yeah. Yushu realized that she'd done something stupid as well. She could only admit it when she saw Meng Yao's murderous glare. I'm the one who bought it, it has nothing to do with Yao. Meng Yao rolled her eyes at Yushu's words. Were you trying to hide something from her with those words? Nothing to do with Yao. It has nothing to do with me in the first place, okay? But you're saying it like you're taking the blame for me. You bought it in the first place. Meng Yao said angrily. I didn't say it was Yao who bought it, I said I bought it myself. Yushu said innocently. You? Why you? Meng Yao's eyes were wide open as her chest heaved up and down. She snatched the electric stick from Lin Yi's hands. I really should have thrown it away back then, but… Yao, you said that it's not good to just throw it around. Yushu said weakly, and if I get a boyfriend in the future, I can prepare for it, prepare my ass. Meng Yao's face was red. She wanted to dig a hole in the ground and hide in it. She threw the stick on the coffee table and said to Lin Yi, It's for you. For me. Lin Yi pointed at himself, stunned. What would he need this thing for? But looking at the misembarrassed face, Lin Yi smiled bitterly as he picked it up. Alright, I'll take it then. I heard that Zhong Naipao practices some chrysanthemum arts or something. I'll give it to him later. Lin Yi had a rough idea of what was going on. Yushu must have bought this thing, and Meng Yao was innocent in all of this. It was just that Meng Yao was afraid of being misunderstood, so Lin Yi took the stick and successfully shifted the blame onto Zhong Naipao. Phut. Give it to Zhong Naipao? Yushu blinked and burst out laughing. That chrysanthemum art of his, that's not what it means, is it? That's an ancient practitioner's art. The chrysanthemum doesn't mean that in the ancient times. Right, Shu, can't you calm down? What do you mean by this or that? Why are your thoughts so complicated? Meng Yao was already embarrassed enough, and Shu was still going on and on. How do you know that I'm complicated? Yao. Then Yao's thoughts are complicated as well. Yushu said. What's there to be complicated about? Lin Yi giving it to Zhong Naipao means that he's mocking Zhong Naipao for being useless, and giving it to Naipao to give to his girlfriend, that's looking down on him. Do you understand? Your thoughts are too evil. Meng Yao explained. What the fuck, Yao, your thoughts really are complicated, I can't even think of such a deep meaning. Yushu said, surprised. Chapter 2022. You. Meng Yaro paused, realizing that her explanation was getting more and more complicated in the heat of the moment. Isn't this just an electric stick? Lin Yi looked at the two innocently. I actually wanted Zhong Naipao to use it when we got home. But it's the right thing to do for his girlfriend. Alright, I'm going back to practicing. You two rest early. Ah! Meng Yaro and Yushu looked at Lin Yi's back, speechless. Did Lin Yi really not know? It seemed like he didn't want the atmosphere to get any more awkward. In actuality, Lin Yi didn't even think that the Miss and Shu would use something so overbearing. Yushu probably bought it out of curiosity, or to frame someone else. But, no matter what, Meng Yaro finally let out a sigh of relief. She turned back to Yushu. You did a good job. Did I do a good job? Yushu blinked her eyes. Of course, you did a good job. Chen-ph, I'll teach you a lesson tonight. Meng Yaro glared at her. Lin Yi went back to his room and threw the electric stick on the shelf. He then started practicing with the refinement fire practitioner's arts that Boss Bai gave him. When Lin Yi gave the information to Han Jingjing, he had already memorized the incantation for condensing the refinement fire, so she could practice according to the incantation now. Net. But, half an hour later, Lin Yi gave up decisively. Before, according to the refinement fire practitioner's arts that Zhong Liju gave to Lin Yi could still condense a refinement fire, but according to Boss Bai's arts, Lin Yi couldn't even condense a spark, let alone a refinement fire. There was no trend at all, and this made Lin Yi speechless. Was his talent that bad? It was so bad that it made one's hair stand on end. Or was it that this practitioner's arts didn't suit him? Right. It had to be. Lin Yi comforted himself. He put aside the matter of condensing the alchemic fire. Lin Yi could only pin his hopes on Han Jingjing. He hoped that this little girl could bring him some unexpected surprises. All Lin Yi could do now was to cultivate the second level of the art of dragon mastery and increase his strength as soon as possible. Sometimes, having absolute strength was also a trump card. Time always slipped away unknowingly. A few days passed in the blink of an eye, and it was another weekend. In the past few days, other than going to school with Miss Shu, Han Jingjing, and Han Xiaoqiao, Lin Yi didn't do anything special. It was a peaceful and leisurely university life. Net. Han Jingjing was still studying her tablet every day, but she was no longer writing or drawing. Instead, she would look at it for a while and then close her eyes to meditate for a while. But Lin Yi knew that she wasn't deep in thought, but she was cultivating a supporting mental cultivation method. What surprised Lin Yi was, beside Han Jingjing, there was actually a faint fluctuation of heaven and earth aura. She had stepped onto the path of cultivation. It was the sign of becoming a cultivator. There were many people who were stuck at the entrance of a book, but Han Jingjing had actually made some progress in just a few days' time. Although being able to cultivate a supporting mental cultivation method, it didn't mean that she could successfully condense the alchemic fire. Even if she successfully condensed the alchemic fire, she might be like Lin Yi, unable to control the intensity and temperature of the fire. Therefore, Han Jingjing could only be considered a beginner among beginners. Moreover, the supporting mental cultivation method of alchemists was the simplest cultivation method. It was simpler than any other mental cultivation method, and it was only used to assist in condensing the alchemic fire. But even so, Han Jingjing could master the supporting mental cultivation method in such a short time, which was really a genius among geniuses. However, the fluctuation of the heaven and earth aura was extremely weak, so only Lin Yi could feel it if he was very close, but Boss Bai couldn't feel it on the podium. This was the beginning of cultivating the true Tao. This situation surprised and delighted Lin Yi. Could it be that Han Jingjing was really a genius? Early in the morning, Lin Yi drove Meng Yaro and Yushu to school in his Jeep Cherokee. Today was the weekend, so there was no class, so Lin Yi didn't bring Han Jingjing. Today's main activity was to go to the Tiger Park. He parked the car in the parking lot, and Lin Yi quietly waited for the others. Not long after, Bai Weituo, Zhao Shengji, Song Xiaodao, Zhong Duopan, and Fan Ganhe walked over from the direction of the male dorm. Bro Lin, so early? Sorry to keep you waiting. Bai Weituo greeted Lin Yi. We just arrived too. Lin Yi said, where are He Ma Yu and the others? They're in the dorm room, They'll be out soon. Bai Weituo said as he looked carefully at Lin Yi's car. As expected, he saw Meng Yao and Yushu in the car. He was smart enough not to mention Wang Xinyan again. You guys can take Lin Yi's car later. My Yu and the others can take mine. Zhong Duopan said, you 3 men squeezing in the back of my car is a bit cramped. Lin Yi's car is a 7-seater, it's no problem. Lin Yi's car has some water in the back seat, so it can't fit 3 people. My Yu and I will take a taxi later, and Xinyan and Xiaoling can take Lin Yi's car. Zhao Shengji and Song Xiaodao can take your car. Bai Weituo said. What? You and my Yu will take a taxi? We have a car here, why would we take a taxi? Zhong Duopan immediately objected after hearing Bai Weituo's words. Besides, you guys should be the ones taking the taxi, how can you let the girls take it? Haha, there's no need to take a taxi. Xinyan has her own car. You 3 can take Zhong Duopan's car later. Xinyan and the others can drive themselves. Lin Yi said as he looked at the red sports car not far away. Drive themselves? Zhong Duopan paused as he looked at Lin Yi, confused. What car do they drive? Where do they have a car? At this time, Xinyan, Xiaoling, and Ma Yu came as well. They heard the conversation between Lin Yi and Zhong Duopan. Xinyan didn't want to drive herself. She wasn't someone who liked to show off, but since Lin Yi said so, she had no choice but to take out her keys and press the remote. Not far away, the red Porsche's headlights flashed twice. Zhong Duopan's eyes widened as if he had seen a monster. Fan Ganhe, on the other hand, was in disbelief. Xinyan had a car, and it was a Porsche too? How rich did her family have to be able to afford a sports car? Zhong Duopan could afford one, but Zhong Fengfeng didn't spoil him when he was in high school. It was only when he had an excuse to hit on girls that he had some money. Chapter 2023. So Zhong Duopan was wondering if he should get a new car? If it was a more powerful BMW X5M or X6, or even a Porsche Cayenne, it would be able to show off his rich young master's class. But today, he saw Xinyan driving a Porsche sports car, and so, he was shocked. Xinyan, is this your car? Even Ma Yu and Chai Xiaoling were shocked as they looked at Xinyan in disbelief. It's mine. It's just that I don't drive it that often. Xinyan smiled bitterly. Well done, Xinyan. It seems like only Lin Yi knows the truth, the rest of us are in the dark. Ma Yu teased, it's obvious who's close and who's distant. I just don't want to show off, Anne. Lin Yi already knows that I have a car. Xinyan blushed as she explained. Alright, you guys are old friends, okay? Ling and I will be riding in your car later, a Porsche sports car. I've never ridden in a sports car before. Ma Yu said excitedly. Seeing that Xinyan really had a car, Zhong Duopan didn't say anything else. Ma Yu had already said that she wanted a sports car, he couldn't just make one out of thin air, could he? Since Xinyan has a car, then let's go, shall we? Let's go early, or else it'll be hard to drive with too many cars. Zhong Duopan laughed. The group of 3 cars, under the lead of Zhong Duopan's Land Rover Aurora, headed towards the Tiger Park. The Tiger Park's full name was the African Lion and Tiger Park. It was one of the largest and most famous tourist attractions near the East China Sea, also known as the Natural Forest Zoo. It covered a large area, about 200,000 square meters. With the Primeval Forest near the East China Sea as the foundation, there were many man-made landscapes and buildings, forming a unique natural attraction that was a combination of modern and primitive elements. Naturally, it attracted many tourists from all over the country. Currently, in the Lion and Tiger Park, there were African tigers, African lions, Siberian tigers, and many other ferocious beasts. Visitors could take special sightseeing vehicles, cable cars, and helicopters to see these beasts up close. They could also feed them themselves and experience the interaction and communication between humans and ferocious beasts. After parking the car at the entrance of the Tiger Park, Zhong Duopan took out the tickets that he had bought in advance. The ticket price was naturally not cheap. It cost 200 yuan, but it was a piece of cake for Zhong Duopan. This place is so big and grand, Meng Yao said as she looked at the lion and tiger garden. Jian Wen said that he wanted to open a zoo like this in Songshan, I wonder if there's any news about it. Yeah, he still owes me a lion. I haven't seen this guy in a long time. He's not paying up. Yushu said unhappily. Lin Yi's already extorted so much money from him, a lion wouldn't make much of a difference, right? Meng Yaro was speechless. Shu still remembered the lion's money. You're right. Yushu nodded. Meng Yaro and Yushu were shocked by the aura of the lion and tiger garden, and so were the others. Everyone was used to living in the city. Suddenly coming to this tiger park that was built on the basis of a primeval forest with an incomparably strong aura of nature naturally made them extremely excited. However, Lin Yi did not show any special expression. Lin Yi had gotten used to this kind of environment many years ago and was not surprised at all. This time, he had only found some familiar feelings from before. That period of time was really nostalgic and fascinating. It had been so long since he had returned to the city. The city life that he had yearned for was not as comfortable and peaceful as he had imagined. It was as if Lin Yi had stepped into another journey from one journey. Only after coming into contact with some people and things did Lin Yi realize that there is always someone better out there. These hidden families, and ancient sects were all unreachable existences for ordinary people. They would never have any interaction with them. But now, all of them were somehow connected to Lin Yi. Thinking back to the days that he had thought were dangerous, they didn't seem so dangerous anymore. After entering the Lion and Tiger Park, Zhong Duopan did not rush to line up with the other tourists to take the sightseeing bus or the cable car. Instead, he took out his phone and dialed a number. Hello, Uncle Su? I'm Zhong Duopan, yes. Zhong Fengfeng's son. Yeah, I'm at the Tiger Park with my classmates, we're at the entrance. Zhong Duopan said. All right, I'll wait for your people. While Zhong Duopan was talking on the phone, the others looked at him in confusion. They didn't know who he was looking for. But Lin Yi had a rough guess this Lion and Tiger Park was probably opened by a friend of Zhong Duopan's father, and he'd come here to make this call to get some help, as well as show off his connections to He Mayu. Lin Yi didn't care about this kind of child's play, and the person this guy was talking to wasn't him but He Mayu, so Lin Yi just stood there and didn't say anything. Fan Ganhe, on the other hand, waited for Zhong Duopan to hang up and asked, Brother Zhong, who are you calling? One of the sponsors of the Tiger Park is my father's friend. Zhong Duopan pretended not to care and smiled. These sightseeing buses aren't very good, they're all modified from ordinary vans. It's not very comfortable to sit in, so I asked my dad to find a friend to arrange a good car. Brother Zhong, you're so awesome. Fan Ganhe exclaimed. It seems like your family has a lot of connections. You even have friends in East Ocean City. That's right. Isn't there, Mayu? There are VIPs here, so we have to at least have a good car. It's not like we don't have this condition. Zhong Duopan nodded and smiled. In fact, it's really awesome not to drive into the Tiger Park. Bai Weituo was so angry that he couldn't help but mock them. In fact, with Boss Bai's connections, it was easy to arrange something like this. Even if Boss Bai couldn't make elixirs now, he could just sell a recipe and guide some alchemists to make elixirs, which would bring him a lot of money. However, after Boss Bai was injured, he didn't do this. He had been very low-key and hid in the university as a lecturer. This was also what Bai Weituo felt the most aggrieved about. He obviously had the ability, but he didn't make more money. He and his brother were despised for flirting with girls. That's right. I don't know if young Master Zhong has this courage. Chai Xiaoling immediately echoed after listening. Chapter 2024. She and Zhao Shengji had basically settled down, so she naturally supported Bai Weituo and He Mayu being together. She didn't mind giving Zhong Duopan a blow. Net. It's not that I don't dare. These tigers, don't be fooled by their ferocious appearance. Many of them haven't eaten for days, they're just weaklings. Fan Ganhe and I kicked a tiger until it fainted in my family's tiger park. Zhong Duopan bragged, but this is my father's friend's tiger park, you can't be so presumptuous. Naturally, no one believed Zhong Duopan's words. This was a bit too ridiculous. Knocked out a tiger with a few kicks. Did he think he was Wu Song? However, Lin Yi, Meng Yaro, and Yushu didn't say anything. As far as they were concerned, knocking out a tiger with a few kicks wasn't enough. One kick from Lin Yi was enough to kill one. While Zhong Duopan was bragging, a long Hummer drove over and stopped beside them. The driver quickly got out of the car and ran to Zhong Duopan's side and said, "You are young Master Zhong, right? I'm arranged by CEO Su to serve you the entire time." CEO Su said that we'll listen to your arrangement. As he said this, he purposely emphasized his tone, as if he had received some kind of instruction. He could recognize Zhong Duopan at a glance, obviously because he saw Zhong Duopan's photo. "I'm Zhong Duopan." Zhong Duopan nodded. "Okay, thank you. How should I address you?" "Just call me Old Yang, the driver and beast tamer here," the driver said. "Then I'll call you Uncle Yang." Zhong Duopan smiled. "I'll have to trouble Uncle Yang for this trip." Sure. Everyone get in the car. I'll bring you around the tiger park," Uncle Yang said. They got in the car, but it wasn't easy to choose a seat. It didn't matter to the others, but it was Lin Yi. He didn't know who to sit with. Yu chose to sit with Xiaoling. She didn't give Zhong Duopan and Bai Weituo a chance. It was obvious that she hadn't made a choice yet. Wang Xinyan, on the other hand, was one more. Lin Yi, naturally, didn't want Fan Ganhe to sit next to her, but Lin Yi was worried that Meng Yaro and Yu Shu wouldn't be happy if he sat next to her. He was in a dilemma. "Shield, bro. You stay with Shu, she'll be scared when she sees the big tiger," Yu Shu called out to Lin Yi. Lin Yi was a little speechless. "Would you be afraid of a tiger? You're not even scared of Go Huli's lion." Although, it wasn't a bad idea to have Xinyan and Meng Yaro sit together. And so, Lin Yi nodded and sat beside Yu Shu, while Meng Yaro went with the flow and sat beside Xinyan. Zhong Duopan and Fan Ganhe didn't want to do this. They wanted Yu and Wang Xinyan to sit with them. That way, when they saw the tiger pouncing on the window, the girls would naturally be afraid. Shaking hands or hugging in his arms was also possible. But reality was too different from their imaginations. Zhong Duopan and Fan Ganhe had no choice but to sit together. The car started up slowly, and they drove into Tiger Forest. However, this luxurious extended Hummer attracted the attention of other tourists. It was obviously a VIP car, much better than a sightseeing car. "Shu, you're scared?" "You're scared?" Lin Yi asked, amused. "Can't Shu be scared?" Actually, Shu has a lot of things that she's scared of. Yu Shu's face showed a hint of sadness. "Oh? Like what?" Lin Yi asked. "No, let's look at the tiger first." Yu Shu didn't want to talk about it. Meng Yaro sat beside Xinyan, which surprised Xinyan a little. Xinyan hadn't expected to sit with him today. Meng Yaro and Yu Shu were there, after all. She'd taken the last seat of her own volition in order to avoid Fan Ganhe's glare. At least she'd be able to stay away from Fan Ganhe. What Xinyan didn't expect, however, was for Meng Yaro to walk to her side and sit down as soon as she sat down. This surprised her, and made her a little nervous. She didn't know what Meng Yaro was planning. Xinyan had always been a quiet person. She wasn't good at talking to people, so she only nodded at Meng Yaro. She didn't take the initiative to say anything. Meng Yaro, on the other hand, didn't say anything after sitting down. She observed the girl beside her quietly. Without a doubt, Xinyan was a very beautiful girl. She didn't pale in comparison to Meng Yaro at all. Spring flowers and autumn moon were equal. "You like Lin Yi?" Meng Yaro asked. She checked Xinyan out as the car drove away. Meng Yao's sudden question made Xinyan's heart skip a beat. Was Meng Yaro here to denounce her? Xinyan's heart almost jumped out of her chest, but she forced herself to calm down. "I'm just good friends with Lin Yi." "Oh." Meng Yaro smiled meaningfully. "It's nothing, really. Just let me know if you like Lin Yi, and I'll check on his girlfriend's behalf. She's given me the authority to do that." "Ah." Xinyan paused. She looked at Meng Yaro in disbelief. "Lin Yi's girlfriend asked you to check on her?" "Yeah." Meng Yaro smiled and nodded. His girlfriend asked him to find another girlfriend? Xinyan couldn't believe it, but that was what Meng Yaro meant. "Yeah." Meng Yaro nodded again. Did I hear that right?" Xinyan stared at Meng Yaro, stunned. "No. So, if you like Lin Yi, you have to tell me before someone else gets to him. Meng Yaro said. There's only one spot. Oh. Xinyan's heart skipped a beat when Meng Yaro was about to tell her, but she remembered her own situation. She shook her head with a bitter smile. I'm engaged. Lin Yi and I are really just friends, is that so? All right then. Meng Yaro shrugged. She didn't want to continue the topic. I don't have anything against you, but you know that since Lin Yi's girlfriend gave me this responsibility, I have to keep my promise. I understand. Xinyan nodded. She didn't really understand, but she found it a little unbelievable. But I can tell that Lin Yi likes you a little. Meng Yaro said. Xinyan's face reddened. Chapter 2025. He's not a busybody, especially in the past. Meng Yaro said. He stood up for you at Songshan's Commercial Street. It's obvious that he likes you. Furthermore, he helped you many times after that, which made him seem rather special. Then isn't he on good terms with you guys? Xinyan's breathing quickened. She didn't want to talk about this topic anymore. It would only make her sink deeper and deeper. She quickly changed the topic to Meng Yaro and Yu Shu. Does that mean that he likes you guys too? Our situations aren't quite the same. We've always been good friends, from the beginning till now. Meng Yaro couldn't help but feel bitter. Good friends? Or was there a chance, but he did not fight for it? But I feel that you and Shu are very important in Lin Yi's heart. It's very special, Xinyan said. It's true. He really cares about you guys. Is that so? This time, it was Meng Yao's turn to blush. Xinyan couldn't help but smile at Meng Yao's blushing face. It looked like Meng Yaro wasn't as calm as she used to be, after all. She had her moments of shyness too. At this moment, the relationship between the two of them seemed to have become much closer and more tacit. Then, we'll be good friends from now on. Meng Yaro said. But only as close friends. If you want to pursue Lin Yi, you'll have to let him know first. Yeah. Wang Xinyan smiled. She felt a lot more relaxed now. She didn't have to be so careful anymore. Shu. She's just the playful type. Don't mind her if she's targeting you. Meng Yaro shrugged, a bitter smile on her face. She's even messing with me. No way. Xinyan paused. It's nothing. Meng Yaro thought back to the electric stick from the other night. This Shu was such a scammer. She changed the topic. You're going to be Lin Yi's girlfriend in the future. He had been with her for a long time. In fact, you will realize that Shu is not a bad person. I'm not only engaged. Xinyan still couldn't believe what she was hearing. Xiao. Do I really want you to help Lin Yi find a girlfriend? Xiao. You know Xiao? Meng Yaro was a little surprised. She didn't expect Xinyan to know Xiao. Yes, when I was in Yangjing. We had a meal together. Xinyan smiled self-mockingly. She didn't want to tell him that it was with her fiancé, Zhaolong, so she paused. It's just a chance encounter, I guess. That's good. Meng Yaro nodded. Actually, Xiao's Lin Yi's small wife. There's something I'll tell you in private. Since you're close to Lin Yi, there are some things that I won't hide from you, but don't spill the beans. Yes. I won't speak carelessly. Xinyan felt a little excited. Was she about to find out Lin Yi's secret? Although Xinyan felt that nothing would happen between her and Lin Yi, but knowing more about Lin Yi made her feel happy and satisfied. Actually, Xiao is Lin Yi's small wife. Lin Yi has a big wife, but Lin Yi has forgotten about her. Meng Yaro lowered her voice as she told Xinyan the story of Lin Yi, Tang Yun, and Xiao. The two sat at the back of the car, so they didn't have to worry about Lin Yi overhearing them, especially since Meng Yao's voice was so soft that Xinyan had to get close to hear. At first, Xinyan thought that Lin Yi had two girlfriends, and was a little disappointed that Lin Yi was a playboy. But when she heard that it was Tang Yun who allowed Xiao to join, and that it was because she pitied her, Xinyan understood that Tang Yun was so kind, and Xiao was so pitiful. The trip to the Ice Palace and Snowy Valley moved Xinyan even more. She didn't think that love could be so great. What a sad story it was. Lin Yi risked his life to fight against those sky-class masters to save Xiao and Tang Yun, in order to save Lin Yi, didn't hesitate to stay in Snowy Valley and become an inheritor, and in order to make Lin Yi not sad, she gave the forgetfulness herb to Lin Yi. What kind of sacrifice was that? Xinyan finally understood why Xiao Xiao wanted to help Lin Yi find another girlfriend, the big wife. It was to cover up this lie. Xinyan felt that it wasn't fair to Lin Yi, but this was Tang Yun's wish. If she really told Lin Yi the truth, no one would be happy, so the best thing to do was to keep hiding it. But letting Lin Yi find another girlfriend was a little too easy for him. So, the spots are limited. If you really want to, you can think about it. It's better to be familiar than unfamiliar, and I think you have a good personality. You won't bully Xiao Xiao, Meng Yaro said, but we'll have to see what Lin Yi wants and what he chooses. I can't do it. Xinyan shook her head. I'm just saying. I just don't want you to spill the beans, Meng Yaro said. Yeah, I won't, Xinyan nodded. The car drove to the Manchurian tigers. It was full of Manchurian tigers, also known as Siberian tigers. They were found in the northeast of Asia, and were the largest felines in existence. Males could reach up to 3 meters in length, with a meter-long tail. They weighed up to 350 kilograms, and there were many black stripes on their backs and sides, usually 2 of them in the shape of a willow leaf. Their heads were big and round, and there were many stripes on their foreheads. They were often connected in the middle, resembling the word king. That was why they were called the king of the jungle. Since it was the king of the jungle, naturally, it was extremely ferocious. Every sightseeing car had iron bars on the windows to prevent the tourists from getting hurt when they opened the windows. This extended Hummer was no exception. Except for a small movable opening on the iron fence at the window, which could be used to throw food out to feed the tigers, the entire body of the Hummer was completely sealed. Uncle Yang, there's too many people here. There's no point in feeding the tigers here. Is there a place with fewer people? Zhong Duopan asked on purpose. Yeah, there's less people at the animal taming area. Let's go there. The tigers there are trained, and they can jump high. You throw the beef into the air and they'll jump for it. It's very interesting, Uncle Yang said. Chapter 2026. Alright, let's go there. By the way, are there any restrictions? Zhong Duopan asked. This article is from the Literature Museum. Ordinary tourists are naturally not allowed to go, but you guys are different. You are President Su's friend. President Su said that everything will be arranged by you, Uncle Yang said. Thank you, President Su. Let's go. Zhong Duopan never stopped showing off his superiority. The extended Hummer started and slowly drove to the animal taming area. Sure enough, at the entrance of the Iron Gate, Lin Yi and the others saw a sign. It said, Work Area. Non-staff members are not allowed to enter. However, the extended Hummer came to the Iron Gate. Without any questioning, the Iron Gate was opened by the staff and the car was allowed to pass. Obviously, this car was a VIP car. The staff members here all knew each other. This was actually a training place for the acrobatics hall in the Tiger Park. There were animal trainers taming all kinds of tigers and lions for them to perform. The Hummer stopped near a rockery. Uncle Yang said, everyone can get out of the car to feed the animals. There are animal trainers here, and there are only 2 tigers. They won't cause any harm to anyone. This way, everyone can watch the tigers up close. Although Uncle Yang said so, everyone looked at each other. After all, they were facing tigers. Even if they were tamed, they were still very scary. Who knew if the tiger would suddenly go crazy? If it hurt someone, it would not be fun. Get out of the car. That's not good, right? There are more girls in the car. What if something happens? Bai Weituo's heart was also beating fast. Furious Smiley, I say, Bai Weituo, are you afraid? Why are you pushing the blame to the girls? Zhong Duopan looked at Bai Weituo with disdain and said, I don't think a coward like you can protect Himayu at all. I won't let her get out of the car. That's protecting her. Bai Weituo's face turned red. Although he was a little afraid, he still argued. What if this tiger goes crazy? It's not a joke if it bites someone. Look, the animal trainers are standing next to the tiger. We were so close, but nothing happened. Zhong Duopan curled his lips. Bai Weituo was getting more and more worried. The happier he was, the more he could despise him and let He Mayu see how timid this man was. That's hard to say. Even humans go crazy, let alone tigers. Lin Yi said lightly, however, even if a tiger goes crazy, it will only bite arrogant and pretentious people. So, Bai Weituo, it's fine. Let's go down. Look at you, worrying for Zhong Duopan, but he doesn't know how to appreciate people's kindness. Fuck. Who needs you to worry? Zhong Duopan listened to Lin Yi's words. He was even more disdainful. I'm getting out of the car right now. Let's see who the coward is. Bai Weituo's expression changed slightly, but he saw that Lin Yi had already stood up. Gritting his teeth, he followed her out of the car. Yu Shu, on the other hand, followed Lin Yi out of the car. Since the girls got out, Bai Weituo couldn't stay in the car anymore. He said, "My Yu, let's get out too, but be careful, don't get too close." After Zhong Duopan got out of the car, he gave Uncle Yang a look. Uncle Yang nodded, indicating that everything was arranged. Zhong Duopan smiled knowingly. "There's beef here, everyone can feed the tigers," Zhong Duopan said to the people who got out of the car. "But, for safety's sake, let's let Uncle Yang demonstrate first." As expected, the two tigers just stood next to the animal trainers. They didn't come over, and they didn't seem to have any intention of attacking them. It seemed like they were really different from the free-range tigers. Actually, the tigers here are more obedient and easier to feed, Uncle Yang said as he took out a piece of beef and threw it at the tigers. Sure enough, the two tigers jumped at the same time. One of them jumped higher and grabbed the piece of meat in the air, but what was more interesting was that when the other tiger saw that the previous tiger grabbed the meat, it stopped fighting and returned to the animal trainer's side, regardless of how much the previous tiger enjoyed the meat. Tigers eat alone. If one of them grabs the meat, the other tigers are very disciplined and won't fight for it. Of course, we can't rule out the possibility of a tiger king, but there isn't one here. Uncle Yang explained. Who's next? Bai Weituo, why don't you go first? Zhong Duopan laughed and said, but looking at you, you definitely don't dare, so let me do it. Bai Weituo was furious, but he couldn't do anything about it. He was indeed a little worried. It's okay, let him perform. Lin Yi patted Bai Weituo, smiled slightly, and said, people make mistakes, horses stumble. If he gets bitten later, he won't be so cocky. Ha, get bitten? Aren't you too timid? Fan Ganhe glanced at Lin Yi and said sarcastically, generally, girls don't like coward. Lin Yi didn't pay attention to him at all, making Fan Ganhe's words useless. He was a little angry, but it was not good to be angry. He thought, in a while, I will let you know what it means to be a fool and afraid. Zhong Duopan picked up a piece of beef and threw it at the two tigers. Because one tiger was eating the meat, the other one who didn't get it before grabbed it first and bit the meat in its mouth. It was quite interesting. How about it? Mayu, why don't you try it too? After Zhong Duopan finished his performance, he said to He Mayu proudly. Okay. He Mayu saw that Zhong Duopan was not in any danger, so she nodded and agreed. This way of feeding the tigers personally was quite interesting, so He Mayu was also interested. Just like me, pick up a piece of meat and throw it over, Zhong Duopan said after a simple demonstration. Okay. He Mayu nodded, picked up a piece of meat, and threw it over to the tigers. However, maybe because the girl's strength was relatively small, the meat was thrown relatively close. The two tigers rushed over with a whoosh sound. It was as if they were rushing at He Mayu, and He Mayu was suddenly shocked. He Mayu suddenly screamed and dodged back in fear. In fact, this was also intentional by Zhong Duopan. The two tigers had actually been acting under the instructions of the beast tamer. The domesticated tigers were different from the free-range ones. Even if they hunted, they were controlled by the beast tamer. If the beast tamer didn't allow them to eat, they wouldn't eat. Therefore, the first two snatches of food seemed to be their own behavior, but in fact, it was also done under the secret instructions of the beast tamer. Lin Yi, who had dealt with wild beasts all year round, saw this clearly. Chapter 2027. Tilda Chapter 2040. The tiger went crazy. Zhong Duopan had a good plan. He deliberately let Himayu throw the meat, and then used the excuse that a girl's hands were weak to make the tiger pounce on her. In fact, the beast tamer let him do this on purpose. Then, Jongjuopan could take the opportunity to stand in front of Himayu and save the damsel in distress. Or, Himayu would be so scared that she would jump into his arms. However, as Jongjuopan was fantasizing, a figure suddenly stumbled in front of Himayu and blocked her. This figure was Bai Weituo. Of course, Bai Weituo didn't rush over by himself. He was pushed over by Lin Yi. Bai Weituo cursed brother Lin in his heart. Wasn't he pushing himself into the tiger's den? However, Lin Yi's control of strength was very accurate. Bai Weituo's legs seemed to be out of his control. He couldn't stop even if he wanted to, and he stood directly in front of Himayu. Since he was here, Bai Weituo couldn't retreat. He could only bite the bullet and say, "Mayu, don't be afraid. I'm here." Huh. Jongjuopan was about to make a move, but he didn't expect Bai Weituo to beat him to it. His face suddenly became very ugly. As for the two tigers, they seemed to be rushing over fiercely, but they actually had no intention of attacking Himayu. The beast tamer only wanted them to scare Himayu. This kind of situation also happened when some brave guests went on stage to cooperate with the circus. So, the beast tamer was very familiar with this situation. Even though Bai Weituo stood not far from them, they didn't have any intention of attacking. They just aimed at the meat in front of them. After one of the tigers snatched the meat, the two tigers retreated. It seems that Bai Weituo is the most reliable person. Some people may say nice things, but they become stupid at the critical moment and can't move. Lin Yi said with a cold smile. "Damn it, I got beaten to it by you guys, okay?" Jongjuopan was speechless. Who knew Bai Weituo would be so fast? Originally, he wanted to judge whether Himayu wanted to jump into his arms or dodge. If she dodged, he would stand in front of Himayu and jump into her arms. Then, he would be able to sit back and enjoy the fruits of her labor. How could he have known that things would change so quickly? In fact, no matter how fast Jongjuopan's reaction was, he wasn't as fast as Lin Yi. Lin Yi didn't wait for Jongjuopan to move and pushed Bai Weituo out. That's right. Although I don't like to do dangerous things, if a female companion is in danger, I will be the first to rush out. Bai Weituo was extremely grateful to Lin Yi. It seemed like Lin Yi had already seen through Jongjuopan's plan. "Mayu, did you see that? Who is more reliable?" Lin Yi couldn't do anything about Himayu's delay in making a decision. "H, you clearly know that these two tigers won't hurt people, so why are you showing off?" Jongjuopan snorted. He hated Bai Weituo so much in his heart. He planned to take the opportunity to teach him a lesson, so he said with a fake smile, "Bai Weituo, if you are in a hurry to feed the tigers, I will say that you are in a hurry. Why are you still standing in front of Himayu? I didn't move because I know that these two tigers definitely won't hurt people. This is called being calm." "Calm?" Bai Weituo didn't refute. Instead, he picked up a piece of beef on the ground and said, "If that's the case, what's the difficulty of feeding such domesticated tigers? Whether it's difficult or not, it's also a kind of courage training. Don't talk so much nonsense," Jongjuopan said as he gave Uncle Yang a look. Uncle Yang nodded calmly. So, when Bai Weituo just picked up a piece of meat, the tiger on the other side didn't wait for Bai Weituo to finish shaving the beef in his hand. With a roar, it directly bit the beef in Bai Weituo's hand. Although it didn't hurt Bai Weituo, it still scared Bai Weituo enough that he sat on the ground. Lin Yi frowned. He knew that this was probably Jongjuopan's deliberate mischief, but he didn't have any evidence. Naturally, he couldn't say anything. "Ha ha ha, Bai Weituo? It can't be, right? You're actually so scared that you sat on the ground. Aren't you a little too useless?" Jongjuopan suddenly laughed. "Didn't you say that there's no difficulty in feeding this kind of domesticated tiger? Why? Are you so scared that you pissed your pants?" The corner of Lin Yi's mouth flashed a trace of a cold smile. He pretended to want to help Bai Weituo up, but his hand suddenly flicked out a trace of true energy, aimed at one of the two tigers, and then emitted a strange sound wave from his mouth. But Lin Yi's acting was very good, and he made it sound like he was lifting Bai Weituo up with all his might. No one thought anything was wrong at all. But there was a reason for Lin Yi to do this. He was provoking the tiger in front of him. In the past, Lin Yi was active in various kinds of primeval forests all year round. He had a set of ways to deal with these fierce beasts. Sometimes, using beasts to deal with the enemy was also a means. Lin Yi first used his pure energy to injure the tiger, and then used that strange sound wave to make the tiger go berserk and bloodthirsty. This way, even a domesticated tiger would turn into a mad tiger and attack the person closest to it. Before, when Lin Yi didn't know how to use the chi bomb, he naturally used other hidden weapons to hurt the tiger. However, that was more obvious and could let people see the flaws. It didn't matter when facing the enemy in the primeval forest, but it wouldn't work here. Lin Yi wanted to harm Zhong Duopan. Naturally, he couldn't let others see it, so he directly used the chi bomb. After doing all this, Lin Yi quickly helped Bai Weituo up and then pulled him back. He stood far away from Zhong Duopan and said, "Weituo, forget it. This tiger is not a joke. After all, this kind of thing is a fierce beast. Even if it is domesticated, there may be a situation where it will bite people. It's not shameful for you to do this. A man should know when to yield and when to stand tall. Saving your life is the key. Like some people who don't care about their lives, they are stupid." Ha! Stupid. If you are timid, then don't say those useless things. If you are afraid of this kind of domesticated tiger, then you are really as timid as a mouse. Heh! As soon as Zhong Duopan's voice fell, he found that one of the two tigers rushed towards him. Looking at its fierce appearance, it seemed like it wanted to swallow him. Zhong Duopan was scared out of his wits. He turned around and ran, but the tiger was chasing him. It thought that Zhong Duopan hurt it. Lin Yi's sound wave had made the tiger a little crazy. It directly regarded Zhong Duopan, who was the closest to it, as an enemy. Roar! The speed of the tiger was quite fast, but one of its legs was injured by Lin Yi's chi explosion, so its mobility was seriously reduced, so it couldn't catch up with Zhong Duopan. Chapter 2028. Chapter 2041. Lion King. Lin Yi did it on purpose. Although Zhong Duopan was a bit annoying, Lin Yi didn't want to kill him directly. So, this was also a lesson for him. "Uncle Yang, help. What's wrong with this tiger? Wasn't it tamed? Why did it suddenly bite me?" Only now did Zhong Duopan know fear. His back was drenched in cold sweat. He never would have thought that this tiger, who had never hurt anyone, would want to harm him. Could it be that the beast tamer had asked it to scare Bai Weituo, and that had aroused its ferocity? From the looks of it, this was the only explanation. Otherwise, why would this tiger suddenly change its temperament? Uncle Yang and the beast tamer were also baffled. Logically speaking, this tiger shouldn't hurt people. Why did it suddenly pounce on Zhong Duopan as if it had seen an enemy? Fortunately, Zhong Duopan ran fast. No, why did the tiger's leg seem to be injured? How did he get hurt? When did you get hurt? Could it be that the tiger was so ferocious because it was injured? Woo woo a woo, the beast tamer kept calling out the beast language that the tiger could understand. He wanted to stop the mad tiger, but the tiger didn't seem to listen to anything. It madly rushed toward Zhong Duopan. The miss looked at Lin Yi, deep in thought. Shu, on the other hand, clapped her hands and laughed. Haha, Shield Bros almost catching up to Prophet Shu. Amazing. This tiger is crazy. Some people are really retarded. Bai Weituo's hatred was also vented in his heart. He shouted mockingly, "Zhong Duopan, Brother Lin is right. Even if this tiger is tamed, it can still bite people. People like you are not courageous, but arrogant. You are simply too stupid." At this moment, Hima Yu was frowning and shaking her head. She sighed in her heart. This Zhong Duopan was indeed useless. How could he do such a dangerous and arrogant thing? Fortunately, the tiger didn't go crazy just now. Otherwise, it would have really hurt him. Even Bai Weituo was almost injured by the tiger. "Help!" Zhong Duopan cried out miserably. Although Fan Ganhe was anxious, he did not dare to step forward to help. He was facing a tiger, And he knew that he was not Wu Song. He did not have the ability to do anything to a tiger, so he could only be anxious. Bang! A gunshot was heard. It was the beast tamer who fired the shot. He took out a tranquilizer gun from somewhere and shot it at the crazy tiger. After the gunshot, the tiger swayed twice before falling to the ground. Obviously, it had fainted. Phew! The beast tamer also breathed a sigh of relief. If anything happened to Zhong Duopan, he would also have a lot of responsibility. Uncle Yang also breathed a sigh of relief. This domesticated tiger actually went crazy. It was like winning the lottery. When Zhong Duopan saw that the tiger had fallen, he finally couldn't hold on anymore. He sat on the ground and panted heavily. His head was covered in sweat. Scared me to death, scared me to death. Zhong Duopan couldn't care less about his face. He was about to lose his life. What face did he have? Fan Ganhe quickly ran over and helped Zhong Duopan up. Uncle Yang was also very embarrassed. Young Master Zhong, no one knew that this tiger would suddenly go crazy. I know. It's not your fault. Zhong Duopan waved his hand. His face was very ugly. This time, he had lost his face. He wanted to scare Bai Weituo, but in the end, he was the one who was scared. Let's go and see something else. This tiger is boring. Lin Yi said faintly. I already said that this tiger goes crazy easily. You don't believe me. This is just an accident. Zhong Duopan said, let's go see the lion. This tiger is just SOSO. It was fierce just now, but it was finished in one shot. Although Bai Weituo and others didn't answer, they still despised Zhong Duopan. In He Meiyue's eyes, her impression of Zhong Duopan was getting worse and worse. This guy was simply an arrogant playboy. He wasn't a suitable companion at all. When everyone got in the car, Uncle Yang breathed a sigh of relief. He quickly started the car and went out of the domestication area. They went to the lion and tiger breeding area. This was a pure wild area. The lions and tigers here were wild. Even the ordinary staff didn't dare to get out of the car. Only those professionals wearing professional equipment and holding tranquilizer guns dared to get out. As for tourists, they were forbidden to feed the animals through the car window. This was enough to show the danger of this area. This is the lion and tiger breeding area. There is a lion king here. In the past, the most powerful one here was a tiger, but recently, the garden bought a lion. This lion became the king here. Uncle Yang explained while driving, this lion has a very high IQ. When it came, it had a lot of underlings. The previous Tiger King also became the lion's underling. This lion is quite powerful. Could it be the legendary Lion King? Zhong Duopan deliberately said in order to divert everyone's attention. You can say that. Uncle Yang nodded. If we're lucky, we'll be able to see the Lion King. Here, the car was equipped with GPS, tranquilizer guns, and emergency satellite phones. This was also to prevent the car from breaking down, so that reinforcements could come in time. This was because this was the Prime Val Forest breeding area. The area was very wide, unlike the previous sightseeing areas where there were many sightseeing cars. Here, most tourists chose to take the cable car to see the scenery of the lion and tiger breeding area. Almost no sightseeing cars drove here. This was also for the safety of tourists. Of course, there was also a small number of adventurous tourists who would choose to come here by car. However, these tourists would buy insurance and sign an agreement before coming in. After all, this was not a joke. If the car overturned or broke down, there might really be a problem. Lions and tigers can coexist. How interesting, He Meiyu and Xiaoling exclaimed. Xinyan and Miss, on the other hand, didn't say anything. The two looked out the window quietly. Xinyan had a lot on her mind, and Miss was observing Xinyan, trying to see if she could become Lin Yi's girlfriend. Yu Shu, on the other hand, was a heartless girl. She kept screaming along the way, especially when it came to tigers and lions. Wow, everyone's in luck. That lion in front is the Lion King, but it's very strong. We'll watch from afar to avoid danger, Uncle Yang said. Not far ahead, on the highest rock is the Lion King, and around it are its underlings. Do you see the biggest tiger? That was the Tiger King before, But now it's the Lion King's underling. Tilda. Tilda target equals _ blank. Chapter 2029. Tilda. Tilda chapter 2042 The depressed lion her? What the fuck, what a coincidence. Yushu's eyes widened as she looked at the lion on the rock. Because, according to her observation, this lion seemed to be the lion she sold to Jian Wen. However, why did this lion come here? What's wrong? Lin Yi didn't pay attention to the situation outside the window. Lin Yi didn't care about the Lion King at all. Lin Yi had seen this kind of animal many times in the African grasslands and forests, so it wasn't strange at all. That lion. Why does it look like our families? Yushu pointed at the Lion King. Lin Yi raised his head in surprise and looked at the direction Yushu was pointing at. He saw a familiar silhouette. It was the lion that he used to sleep with Huli. Lin Yi didn't like this lion that bullied the weak and feared the strong, so he didn't give it much strength. Yushu sold it off, so Lin Yi didn't care about it at all. However, this lion trained with General Weiwu and Skybolt Pig, so it did look like a spiritual beast. It wasn't very strong, but it had the strength of a half-step golden class physical practitioner. It was nothing in front of General Weiwu and Skybolt Pig, let alone in front of Lin Yi. But in a place like this lion relied on its strength and intelligence developed by General Weiwu and Skybolt Pig to become the overlord here. As expected, Lin Yi nodded. Drive over, I want to see that Lion King, Yushu said to the driver. Ah, drive over. Isn't that a little dangerous? After Uncle Yang experienced the tiger going crazy, he became more cautious. He turned to look at Zhong Duopan. Young Master Zhong, shall we drive over? Ah. Zhong Duopan was still scared. He was in the car, but he was still afraid. He was a little hesitant. Zhong Duopan, did you get scared just now? Now you don't even dare to approach the tiger in the car. Bai Weituo would not let go of any opportunity to attack Zhong Duopan. Who asked this guy to laugh at him before? Who said I was scared? Previously, that tiger went crazy. I'm not afraid of tigers, I'm just afraid of mad tigers. Zhong Duopan waved his hand and said, Uncle Yang, let's drive. The girls in the car are not afraid. What are we afraid of? All right. Uncle Yang nodded, started the car, and approached the Lion King. The Lion King was not afraid of the approaching car at all, and the Tiger King's little brother even roared fiercely at the Hummer, not putting it in his eyes at all. Instead, it had an imposing manner as if it was asking for something delicious. Although tourists were prohibited from feeding the tigers, drivers were allowed to feed the tigers and lions. Of course, tourists had to pay for this. Stop the car, open the door, I'm going down, Yushu said suddenly. Ah! Uncle Yang's eyes widened at Yushu's words. What was Yushu doing? Getting off here? Wasn't she looking for death? Even if he was a tamer, a professional, he didn't dare get off here. When he fed the tigers and lions, he would throw the meat out through the gaps of the window. He didn't dare to be careless, and Yushu, a girl, wanted to get off. Shield bro, will you come with me? Yushu suddenly realized that something wasn't right. The lion had already been sold, and it was now the king of this place. No matter how much she messed around, she couldn't risk her life. She turned to Lin Yi. Okay. Lin Yi said faintly, without a trace of fear or obstruction. Even if Lin Yi didn't know these lions and tigers, these beasts wouldn't dare hurt Lin Yi and the people he was protecting. There was no other reason. Years of fighting in the jungle had given Lin Yi a killing aura. As long as the tigers and lions weren't idiots, they wouldn't do anything when they sensed Lin Yi's aura. This was just like General Weiwu, who chose to retreat the first time he saw Lin Yi. Go Huli, that lion, was also scared by Lin Yi. Lin Yi's reply wasn't loud, but everyone in the car heard it clearly, especially Zhong Duopan. He looked at Lin Yi as if he was looking at an idiot. Even if Lin Yi liked Yushu and wanted to get on her good side, there was no need for him to accompany her to death, was there? In the domestication field, even the tigers might go crazy, let alone in a free-range breeding area. If they got out of the car, wouldn't they be eaten by the tigers and lions in an instant? But thinking back to the humiliation he'd suffered, Zhong Duopan didn't mind humiliating Lin Yi as well. If the two of them got eaten by the tigers after getting out of the car, then they couldn't blame anyone else. The tiger park would only have to pay some money, and everyone in the car could testify that they wanted to get out of the car. It had nothing to do with anyone else. With that thought, Zhong Juopan's lips curved into a cold smile. He didn't know why Lin Yi and Yu Shu were in such a rush to die, but since they wanted to die, he'd grant them their wish. Uncle Yang, the big hero, wants to get out of the car to observe Lion King up close. Let's stop the car and open the door. Okay, Master Zhong. Uncle Yang's order was to listen to Zhong Juopan's orders, and since Zhong Juopan wanted to stop the car, then so be it. If the people really got eaten, then Zhong Juopan would be the one paying for the compensation. Uncle Yang stopped the car and opened the door. Yu Shu got out of the car first, and Lin Yi, naturally, followed behind her. Yu Shu had only just gotten out of the car when the lions and tigers started getting restless, wanting to rush up and get rid of this delicacy. The lion behind them, however, paused when it saw Yu Shu, and shivered when it saw Lin Yi behind Yu Shu. Holy shit, Long Di Dong, these two weren't going to capture him, were they? The Lion King, General Wei Wu, and Skybolt Pig had been together for a long time, and while its strength hadn't increased that much, its intelligence had increased quite a bit. It was only natural that it knew how to scheme. This was an obvious sign of evolving into a spiritual beast. The Lion King, on the other hand, was having a great time in the tiger park. He had good food and drinks every day, and he had a bunch of lions and tigers as his lackeys. His life was perfect, and if he were to be captured, wouldn't he become the lowest existence in the family again? He wouldn't even be as good as a dog or a pig. He was a big lion, after all. He was a super powerful existence, but in Lin Yi's house, he was living a life of oppression. Tilde target equals _blank. Chapter 2030. Of course, let's not talk about the pig and dog that it treated as its underlings. Let's talk about the little girl in front of it. She was even more powerful. She was like a little devil. She made it perform acrobatics all day long, which really tired it out. So, the Lion King was very happy to be able to escape. Yu Shu didn't have much strength, and the lion knew that she was just using Yu Shu's power to intimidate others. But Yu Shu had Lin Yi behind her, and he could kill it with a finger. It was only a matter of minutes, and the lion was smart enough not to mess with Yu Shu. At this moment, it saw that its underlings were going to eat Yu Shu and Lin Yi, and it was so scared that its heart almost exploded. It quickly roared, calling all of its underlings back. The underlings of the lion and tiger didn't understand why their king was calling them back, but they didn't dare disobey. Everyone in the car jumped at the Lion King's roar, especially Zhong Juopan. He looked at Lin Yi and Yu Shu with a gloating look. What a bunch of idiots, daring to look at the Lion King up close. They must be tired of living. Xinyan, who was sitting behind the car, finally loosened up a little. She frowned and looked at the calm Meng Yarrow beside her. Yarrow, Lin Yi, and Shu, it's fine, that lion used to belong to my family. Meng Yarrow, naturally, knew who the Lion King was. The Lion King? Xinyan's mouth was wide open. Yeah. Meng Yarrow nodded. It's that Lion King. But Xinyan, you seem to care about him a lot, don't you? We're good friends. Xinyan said, a little embarrassed. Ha. Meng Yarrow smiled ambiguously and didn't say anything else. However, after interacting with each other along the way, the two of them had become more familiar with each other. They had changed from calling each other by their names to calling each other by their nicknames. You, come here, Yu Shu said, pointing at the Lion King. She pointed at the Lion King. Quack. Zhong Juopan looked at the scene outside the car and found it unbelievable. Were these two mentally ill? How could he do such a stupid thing? Fan Ganhe, on the other hand, was praying that the lions and tigers would eat Lin Yi and Yu Shu. That way, no one would be able to stop him from pursuing Xinyan. However, under everyone's shocked gazes, the Lion King ran strangely to Yu Shu. He shook his head as if he was trying to please Yu Shu. You stupid lion, you're doing quite well, huh? He's a Lion King now, Yu Shu said as she pulled on the lion's ear. With Lin Yi by her side and Lin Yi not stopping her, Yu Shu was naturally very brave. Naturally, Yushu wouldn't do something so stupid if Lin Yi wasn't around. Woo woo. The lion nodded its head cautiously. It was complaining incessantly in its heart. If it had known that the second young mistress would come today, it would have hidden itself. Now it was the butt of a gun. Look at your pitiful face. You think you're a lion king? Yushu curled her lips. She looked down on the Lion King. The Lion King felt very wronged. It was true that it was a Lion King in front of others, but if it continued to be a king when you're here, wouldn't it be suicide? You're fine, you'll just pull on my ear, but the one beside you. She can send me to the Southern Skies Gate with one kick. However, Yushu had a purpose in coming here. She grew up with Meng Yao. The two were almost telepathic. Meng Yao went to talk to Xinyan, and Yushu understood that this Xinyan might become one of Shield Bro's girlfriends in the future. In actuality, Yushu didn't really care about how many girlfriends Lin Yi had. She was worried about Meng Yao's interests, and as for herself, Yushu didn't want to think about her own matters. And so, after understanding Meng Yao's feelings, she decided to help Lin Yi and Xinyan. Xinyan, however, had a rather annoying pursuer, and this person was ruining the relationship between Lin Yi and Xinyan. Yushu wasn't too happy about it, and so she wanted to find a chance to teach Fan Ganhe a lesson. And now was the perfect opportunity. Yushu wouldn't have gotten out of the car to play with the Lion King otherwise. Fan Ganhe, what are you doing in the car? Why aren't you getting out? I heard that Xinyan likes brave people. You're such a coward. Look at Shield Bro, he's not even afraid of lions. Yushu made a disdainful gesture at Fan Ganhe. Phut! Lin Yi almost burst out laughing at Yushu's word. Why was she doing this again? Brave people? Didn't they say that Meng Yao liked brave people? Why was it Xinyan now? Fan Ganhe was confused, and Yushu's disdain made him panic. Who said I'm not brave? How are you guys brave? There's something wrong with this lion, it doesn't even hurt people. Yeah, there's clearly something wrong with this lion, Zhong Duopan said. What kind of lion is this? Uncle Yang, are you sure you're not mistaken? Uncle Yang found it weird as well. This lion was clearly very docile, and it didn't bite at all. Why was it acting so happy when its ear was pulled? What a dumb lion. Isn't this a competition of bravery? I'm a sports student, you think I'm weaker than you? Fan Ganhe made the decision if Lin Yi and Yushu were fine, then he'd be fine as well. Lin Yi and Yushu, on the other hand, probably knew that there was something wrong with the lion, and that was why they dared to get off the car. It was just like how Zhong Duopan and the tamers said that they weren't afraid of the tiger, they were the ones who cheated, and so they naturally assumed that Lin Yi was cheating as well. With that, Fan Ganhe jumped off the car, and the moment he did so, Yushu whispered something to the lion, and the lion nodded quickly. But no one paid attention to this scene. How could a human talk to a lion? From their point of view, it was something impossible. In the car, Wang Xinyan heard Yushu say that she liked brave people. Since when did she like brave people? Lin Yi was brave, but Meng Yao smiled faintly. She wants to help you get rid of your pursuer, Fan Ganhe. Xinyan blinked, and understood what was going on when she saw Fan Ganhe getting off the car. Heh, you stupid lion, there's definitely something wrong with you. Speak, are you tamed? Fan Ganhe pointed at the lion as soon as he got off. Chapter 2031. The lion didn't dare make a sound when it was being bullied by Yushu and Lin Yi, but it was pissed off that it was being bullied by a random person out of nowhere. Still, it remembered Yushu's orders, and decided to endure the humiliation with a whimper, not doing anything to Fan Ganhe. This article is from the Literature Museum. I knew you were a coward. Fan Ganhe saw that the lion was being so cowardly, and he was excited. He was just testing the lion, and he didn't dare get too close to it. He realized that the lion really didn't have any attack power, and he was overjoyed. Woo woo. The Lion King was scolded and could only let out a slight snort to express his dissatisfaction. As expected. Zhong Bro, look at this lion, it's such a coward. Fan Ganhe walked over and forcefully pulled the fur on the lion's head, pulling off the lion's face. The lion didn't react at all, only grunting and whimpering. Lin Yi, you got yourself a lion with no attack power, And you're still boasting about your bravery? Zhong Duopan was pissed off from being chased by the tiger, and now that he could bully the lion, he jumped out of the car. Lin Yi, how is this bravery? If this is bravery, then I'm a warrior. Fan Ganhe punched the lion proudly. Net. Zhong Duopan saw that the lion didn't resist at all, and went to pull its ear. As expected, this lion is so tame. My you, look at how brave I am, I actually dared to fight the lion. You two idiots, it's the lion that's afraid of Shield Bro, okay? Do you really think the lion is afraid of you? Yushu rolled her eyes at Zhong Duopan and Fan Ganhe. Ha! Who would believe you? Fan Ganhe looked at Yushu with a mocking face. Do you think I'm an idiot, or is Zhong Bro an idiot? This lion is afraid of Lin Yi. That's right, this is the funniest joke I've ever heard. Do you think lions are humans, that they can understand you? You're an idiot. Zhong Duopan didn't believe it either. Forget it, since you don't believe me. Shield Bro. Let's get in the car and let these two die here. Yushu shook her head and sighed. Okay. Lin Yi nodded. He didn't say much and got in the car with Yushu. What do you think? Fan Ganhe proudly went to pull the lion's ear again, but in the next moment, the lion's eyes widened. He felt that something was wrong. This was because the lion's eyes suddenly turned sharp. Roar. The Lion King bit Fan Ganhe's arm. It directly bit through his clothes and tore off a piece of skin from his neck. Yushu was telling it to calm down when Lin Yi was here, and that it could punish Fan Ganhe and Zhong Duopan when Lin Yi wasn't here. Fan Ganhe screamed. He didn't expect the lion to suddenly change its face and bite people without any warning. However, seeing that Fan Ganhe was bitten, Zhong Duopan wanted to escape, but it was too late. Because he was the lion's next target. After the lion bit Fan Ganhe, it turned to Zhong Duopan and bit his butt. Not only did it tear through his pants, but it also bit off a piece of flesh from his butt. He cried out in pain, and tears almost came out. However, the intense pain made their minds clear. They didn't care about the pain anymore and ran to the car like crazy, their faces extremely pale. However, the severe pain also made the two of them instantly sober up. They couldn't care less about the pain and ran into the car crazily. Their faces became extremely pale. Man, I told you, the lion is afraid of Shield Bro, but you didn't believe me and went down to pretend to be brave. In the end, you're finished, aren't you? Yushu said with a gloating expression. The people in the car were speechless. They didn't know what was going on. Yushu's words sounded reasonable, but if the lion was afraid of Lin Yi and not Zhong Duopan and Fan Ganhe, it was a little too unbelievable. How could the lion tell who was stronger? Plus, after Lin Yi got off the car, he didn't even fight with the lion. Why would the lion be afraid of Lin Yi? Wasn't this baffling? You guys played dirty. Zhong Duopan was about to cry from the pain, but he knew that if he cried now, Yu would definitely look down on him. He endured the pain and scolded, "Did you guys do it on purpose? On purpose? Are you retarded? I told you that the lion was afraid of Shield Bro. If you didn't believe me, just stand there and die. But you guys didn't believe me, so who can you blame?" Yushu said innocently. You. Zhong Duopan wanted to say something, but after thinking about it carefully, he realized that what Yushu said was true. It was indeed him and Fan Ganhe who didn't believe him. But the more Zhong Duopan thought about it, the more he felt that something was wrong. Why was the lion afraid of Lin Yi? That wasn't possible, right? The lion wasn't a human, why would it be afraid of a tourist? Plus, this didn't make sense. Zhong Duopan's heart was racing. It wasn't that the lion was afraid of Lin Yi, but that Lin Yi and Yushu had grasped some kind of pattern. Right, that had to be it. They had been provoking the lion before, but since the lion was a Lion King, it had a bottom line. It didn't care about their provocation, and it didn't want to lower itself to the level of Lin Yi and Yushu. After that, everyone started to abuse and offend it, and the lion was offended to a certain extent. Even if it was a Lion King, it couldn't take it anymore and finally went crazy. But before it went crazy, Lin Yi and Yushu must have noticed something, and so they got on the car first, saying things like the lion was afraid of Lin Yi, and so Zhong Duopan and Fan Ganhe didn't notice it in time. That had to be it. Otherwise, Why would the lion only take a bite out of him and Fanganha? If he wanted to kill them instantly, it would be a matter of minutes, but the Lion King did not do so, which meant that the Lion King was still very arrogant. He did not want to lower himself to the level of people like them who did not have the ability to attack. In the end, he was forced into a corner and only said those words to scare them. With that thought, Zhong Duopan felt that he'd grasped the pattern. He didn't want to be the one to suffer, so he turned to Lin Yi and Yu Shu. Didn't you say that the lion was scared of Lin Yi? If you have the guts, why don't you get off the car and try again? Why should we get off? You want us to get off just because you want us to? It's so tiring to get on and off. Yu Shu said disdainfully. Ha, are you scared now? Now that the lion's pissed off, you guys must be too scared to get off. Fan Ganha said mockingly. Didn't you say that Xinyan likes brave people? Lin Yi, if you dare to get out of the car now, I'll admit that you're a brave man. Chapter 2032. You'll stop harassing Xinyan if I get out? And you'll give up on he my you too? Lin Yi looked at Zhong Duopan and Fan Ganha. Ah. If you get out, and we don't dare to get out, then we'll admit defeat. Zhong Duopan didn't make it clear that if Lin Yi got out, then they'd do the same. If Lin Yi got out and the lion caught up, then the bet wouldn't count. Lin Yi got in the car because of the lion, so there was no point in him being brave anymore. Oh, Shu, let's go see the lion then, Lin Yi said. Okay. Yu Shu nodded. This lion seems to be living a good life, and it's even a king. I wonder if it has any treasures to give me. And so, the two got out of the car. Zhong Duopan and Fan Ganha, on the other hand, were waiting for the lion to go crazy again and bite Lin Yi and Yu Shu. But there was a big difference between wishes and reality. Lin Yi and Yu Shu got out of the car, and the raging lion suddenly became docile again. It had a smile on its face, looking harmless, as if it wasn't the one going crazy earlier. Bite him. Bite them. Zhong Duopan called out in his mind, but the lion didn't listen to him at all. Hey, lion, you seem to be living a good life here. Don't you have any treasures to give me? Yu Shu asked. Woo! The lion knew that Yu Shu was up to no good, so she started asking for treasures. But the lion didn't dare defy it. Yu Shu's anger wouldn't be a joke if he didn't give it to her, especially Lin Yi who was beside him. He'd probably die if the girl gave him a beating, and he'd never be able to be the Lion King again. Thinking of this, the lion hurriedly ran back to its nest at the back of its territory. It carefully found something and held it in its mouth. Then, it ran back and raised its head like it was presenting a treasure. Yu Shu stretched her hand out, and the lion spat the thing out. It was a round, milky white orb that looked like a pearl, but wasn't. It looked like a gemstone, but wasn't. It was a weird thing, and Yu Shu couldn't figure out what it was even after looking at it for a while. What is this? You stupid lion, don't tell me you tricked me with a piece of trash. Yu Shu wasn't expecting the lion to really take out a treasure, but she didn't know if it was a treasure or what it was for. Woo! The lion put on a sad face after hearing Yu Shu's words. It didn't know how to speak human language, or else it would have explained that this was a treasure the Tiger King found in the Primeval Forest, and that he gave it to it after he became king. It was really something good. Let me see. Lin Yi frowned as he took the white orb from Yu Shu's hands and looked at it carefully. This thing should be a treasure, no doubt about it. It wasn't that Lin Yi trusted the lion, but that he sensed a powerful energy within the white bead the moment it appeared. He didn't know what kind of energy it was or what it was used for, but he didn't know yet. Shield bro, can you tell what this is? Yu Shu asked curiously. Not at the moment, but I'll keep it, Lin Yi said as he put the orb in his pocket. Zhong Duopan and Fan Ganha saw the lion give the orb to Lin Yi and Yu Shu, but their eyes told them that it wasn't a jewel or a pearl. It looked more like a useless rock, and they didn't pay much attention to it. What they were curious about was why the lion seemed to have become so docile again. Could it be that the lion had a mental disorder, and had a dual personality? Zhong Duopan, Fan Ganha, I'm getting off the car. What do you guys have to say? Lin Yi was shocked as to where the lion got such a treasure from, but he pretended like he didn't care as he changed the topic to Zhong Duopan and Fan Ganha. That doesn't mean anything. We'd get off the car too. Zhong Duopan's confidence returned after seeing that Lin Yi and Yushu were fine. He forgot about the pain and decided to get off the car to check it out. "Oh, you guys get off then. Don't blame me for not warning you if you get bitten again," Yushu said. "This lion's only afraid of Shield Bro, not you guys. Fuck. You think a lion's IQ is high enough to know who it's afraid of?" Zhong Duopan didn't believe Yushu at all. "I say, this lion must have some kind of mental disorder. You guys have some kind of pattern, that's why you're acting like this. Holy shit." Yushu's eyes went wide as she looked at Zhong Duopan. "How is it? Surprised, right? I guessed it right? Zhong Duopan was even more sure that he was right after seeing Yushu's expression. "No, I just think that your thinking is too fantastical. You can go to Hollywood now," Yushu said. "It doesn't matter if you don't admit it. Ganhe, let's get off the car." Zhong Duopan wanted to get off the car first, but he suddenly remembered that his butt was still exposed. When he got on the car, he was facing the people in the car. It was fine, but when he turned around and got off the car, his butt was exposed. Student Zhong really knows how to act like a gangster. Bai Weituo curled his lips. "There's a girl in the car." Zhong Duopan had forgotten about the pain in his butt. As a result, he was reminded, and the pain was unbearable. But at this time, he couldn't show it. That would be a bit too cowardly. He could only take off his clothes and wrap it around his waist. He said, sorry. Fan Ganhe was a sports student, and getting hurt in fights was a common occurrence. He could take the bite on his arm and nodded before getting off the car with Zhong Duopan, but they didn't expect tragedy to befall them as soon as they got off the car. The originally docile lion suddenly pounced at Zhong Duopan. Fuck. Zhong Duopan hadn't even finished getting out of the car. When he saw the lion pouncing at him, he was so scared that he hurriedly dodged backward. As a result, he accidentally fell on his butt in the car. With a wail, his butt fell to the ground and touched his wound. The pain was excruciating. Fan Ganhe, on the other hand, was better off. He was behind Zhong Duopan, and although he was knocked into by Zhong Duopan, he didn't suffer much. Chapter 2033. That posture was like a victor looking down on a weakling. Zhong Duopan's face turned red and white. The lion's actions confirmed Yushu's words. The lion was afraid of Lin Yi, but not him. He was attacked as soon as he got out of the car, and Lin Yi had been standing there for a long time. The lion was just trying to please him, and this almost made Zhong Duopan speechless. How could this lion tell who was stronger? But Zhong Duopan didn't see anything special about Lin Yi and Yushu. But Zhong Duopan didn't want to keep his word. He laughed it off. "My butt hurts like hell, and it looks really bad. I can't even walk properly. I can't get out of the car. Uncle Yang, let's go, I'm going to the hospital." "Zhong Duopan, do you mean what you said before? Stay away from Mayu from now on?" Bai Weituo asked. "What I said before. I dare get out of the car too, but my butt hurts so I can't walk. It doesn't count as my loss, I just want to go to the hospital," Zhong Duopan said. "Bai Weituo, you wouldn't put a patient in a difficult position, would you?" Bai Weituo looked at Zhong Duopan with disdain. This guy was obviously using this as an excuse to not acknowledge the previous bet. However, Bai Weituo had a certain degree of understanding of Zhong Duopan's repeated reneging. This guy was thick-skinned and always found an excuse to go back on his word. Bai Weituo didn't want to say anything more. Lin Yi smiled coldly as he got in the car with Yushu. As for Zhong Duopan and Fan Ganhe, Lin Yi didn't care anymore. All he cared about was that white bead. He wanted to go back and see what it was. But if it wasn't for Yushu's luck, this thing would have been buried in the Lion King's hands. So when Zhong Duopan asked to leave, Lin Yi didn't say anything. When he got in the car, Lin Yi saw the miss talking to Wang Xinyan about something. Lin Yi was a little puzzled by the scene. The two weren't that close, were they? Could it be that it had become better along the way? Xinyan smiled at Mang Yao's words. The two seemed to be getting along quite well, and that surprised Lin Yi, but he didn't try to eavesdrop on their conversation. Everyone had their own secrets, and Lin Yi wouldn't try to eavesdrop on the conversation between Meng Yaro and Yu Shu. At first, when Lin Yi saw the miss and Xinyan sitting together, He thought that the Miss didn't have any close friends in the car, and that Xinyan was the only female acquaintance other than Yushu, so he just sat next to her. But now it seemed like it was all planned. The car started moving slowly. Uncle Yang was confused as to why the lion had chosen Zhong Juopan and Fan Ganhe instead of Lin Yi and Yushu, but he couldn't bring himself to ask after looking at Zhong Juopan's pathetic face. Since Zhong Juopan didn't pursue the matter, Uncle Yang naturally wouldn't meddle in his own affairs. He didn't want Mr. Su to blame him for not being a good host. Zhong Juopan and Fan Ganhe were feeling very wronged. They could endure the physical pain, but the mental pain was breaking them down. They felt that it was strange and unjustified. Why did the lion not bite Lin Yi and Yushu, and even give them a stupid bead? Naturally, Zhong Juopan didn't think that there would be any treasures in the tiger park. After all, this was a scenic area. How could there be treasures? It was probably a big marble or a toy ball thrown by a tourist, and the lion thought it was something good. But no matter what it was, the lion's behavior was strange. Even now, Zhong Juopan still thought that Lin Yi had mastered some kind of pattern, or that Lin Yi had mastered the way to communicate with the lion, and that was why the lion didn't bite her. Zhong Juopan and Fan Ganhe, on the other hand, didn't have this skill, and that was why they ended up in such a tragedy. Some people are not brave, but they pretend to be brave, and in the end, they got bitten by the lion, right? Yushu mocked. "Himayu, see? Can you entrust your life to this kind of man? He's nothing compared to Shield Bro. Of course, Shield Bro can't be given to you, so you can only settle for second best. Bai Weituo is not bad." Himayu didn't know whether to laugh or cry after hearing Yushu's words. Lin Yi was indeed outstanding, and if Wang Xinyan wasn't there, she wouldn't mind taking the initiative to pursue him. But with Wang Xinyan's appearance, especially with Meng Yaro and Yushu by Lin Yi's side, Himayu paled in comparison. She knew her place, and although Zhong Juopan and Bai Weituo were infatuated with her, Lin Yi wouldn't have any feelings for her at all. So Himayu wouldn't be delusional. She could only settle for second best, and set her sights on Zhong Juopan and Bai Weituo, her two pursuers. But Himayu didn't want to give up her lifelong happiness so early, so she was considering. Zhong Juopan's playboy aura was too strong, but that wasn't what Himayu disliked. What Himayu feared the most was that Zhong Juopan would play around with her, and then dump her when he was bored. Plus, Zhong Juopan was a bit unreliable. Although his family was rich, he liked to cause trouble. Bai Weituo, on the other hand, didn't have such bad habits, but his family didn't seem to be very rich. Although Bai Weituo and Zhong Juopan had the upper hand in a few confrontations, Himayu wasn't an idiot. She knew that the reason why Bai Weituo had the upper hand was because of Lin Yi. It was the same with the drinking competition, the freshman party, and this trip to the Tiger Park. If it wasn't for Lin Yi, the one who would be embarrassed wouldn't be Zhong Juopan and Fan Ganhe, but Bai Weituo. Bai Weituo had rushed out the moment the tiger pounced on them. That was definitely because he saw that the tiger was tamed, and that was why he dared to push Bai Weituo out. It wasn't Bai Weituo's intention. Of course, although Himayu didn't see what happened when the tiger went crazy, it was most likely Lin Yi's doing. Otherwise, why would Lin Yi pull Bai Weituo to the back after helping him up? In the end, the powerful person wasn't Bai Weituo, but Lin Yi. So this was the reason why Himayu didn't accept Bai Weituo. Lin Yi couldn't always help him, right? If Lin Yi wasn't by his side, his good luck would come to an end. Whether it was the drinking competition, the freshman party, or even the trip to the Tiger Park, he would lose miserably. Target =_ blank. Chapter 2034. If Lin Yi knew how much Himayu was thinking, he'd be shocked. How scheming was this girl? Of course, it didn't have much to do with Lin Yi, since Lin Yi didn't like her in the first place. Zhong Juopan and Fan Ganhe were both injured, and so the two hurried to see the doctor after leaving the Tiger Park. Lin Yi and the others didn't go anywhere else, either, and went straight back to school. Xinyan was getting out of the car in the school parking lot when the miss winked at her. "Tell me if you have any thoughts." "Ah." Xinyan blushed, not daring to look at the miss. She walked away quickly with her head down. Lin Yi, on the other hand, didn't know what was going on. What were these two talking about? What did they mean by having thoughts? What thoughts could Xinyan possibly have? And so, on the way home, Lin Yi asked curiously, Yao Yao, what did you say to Xinyan? Nothing much, just getting to know each other a little. I told her to come visit when she's free. Meng Yao said faintly. Visit? Lin Yi felt strange. Wasn't the Miss and Shu not too friendly with Xinyan? Why did it change all of a sudden? Lin Yi didn't know that Meng Yao was just getting over it. Since Lin Yi was looking for a big wife, it'd be better for him to get one from someone he was familiar with. If he got an unfamiliar domineering girl, she and Yu Shu wouldn't be at a disadvantage, but it'd affect their mood. Meng Yao didn't reply and changed the topic. By the way, Lin Yi, what did that lion give you and Shu? It doesn't look like anything good. I don't know, but it's definitely something good. Lin Yi said. There's a lot of energy in that thing, let's get an expert to take a look. Ah, it's really good stuff. Yu Shu was just casually trying to blackmail the lion, not expecting it to actually give her something good. Could it be an energy ball? Energy ball? Lin Yi was stunned. I don't know, but this energy is different from the spiritual energy of the world. Even if it's an energy ball, it's not an ordinary energy ball. That is indeed a fortuitous encounter, Meng Yao said. This trip to the tiger park wasn't that interesting, but you got something good, so it wasn't a wasted trip. Yeah, it's an unexpected surprise. I'm just accompanying Bai Weituo. He is Boss Bai's grandson. Boss Bai treats me well, so I have to help him. Lin Yi said, when he catches up with He Ma Yu, I won't get involved. Shield bro, I don't think that He Ma Yu is a good person, Yu Shu said. Shu, don't talk nonsense. Meng Yao frowned. Although she wasn't friends with He Ma Yu, she didn't have any bad feelings towards her. It wasn't appropriate for Yu Shu to slander others. I'm not talking nonsense, Yu Shu said. I just think that He Ma Yu is very scheming. But she's still a little worse than you, right? Meng Yao said. Not really. Yu Shu was embarrassed and shut her mouth. He Ma Yu doesn't have much to do with us. It's fine as long as Bai Weituo likes her. As long as she doesn't do anything bad to Bai Weituo, there's no need for us to interfere. Lin Yi shrugged and smiled. Besides, it's not a bad thing for a girl to be a little scheming, right, Shu? Oh, how would I know? Yu Shu looked like she lost. Lin Yi drove the car back to the villa, but when he got close to the villa, he saw Han Jingjing standing in the yard looking around. She ran over excitedly when she saw Lin Yi's car. Han Jingjing's actions made Lin Yi, Yu Shu, and Meng Yao curious. What was this girl doing standing in the yard in the cold? Although it wasn't that cold yet, the weather in November was still very cold. If Han Jingjing stood in the courtyard alone for a long time, she would definitely catch a cold. Han Jingjing, what are you doing? Lin Yi got out of the car and asked curiously. Lin Yi bro, you're back. I'm waiting for the car, Han Jingjing said. Waiting for the car? Lin Yi was speechless. Waiting for my car? Are you going out? No, I'm waiting for your car to come back. I have something to talk to you about, Han Jingjing said. But you don't have to wait in the yard. Aren't you afraid of catching a cold? Lin Yi didn't know what to say to Han Jingjing's actions. Jingjing's not afraid of catching a cold. Lin Yi bro's really good at treating colds, and it feels really good too. Last time Jingjing got a bunch of water, it felt really good. Han Jingjing said. Phut. Ahem. Lin Yi choked on Han Jingjing's words. Why did Han Jingjing's words have so many different meanings? Oh. Yu Shu looked at Lin Yi strangely as well. Shield bro, didn't you say you didn't touch her last time? Why would she feel good and get water? Meng Yao wasn't as bold as Yu Shu, asking everything out loud. She frowned as she looked at Lin Yi, puzzled. She was just thinking about accepting Xinyan, but why did it seem like Lin Yi was interested in Han Jingjing instead? Acupuncture. She got sweaty and took a shower, so it felt good. Lin Yi explained, sweating. Yu Shu and Meng Yao were speechless. It was hard not to think dirty thoughts from Han Jingjing's words. Lin Yi bro, what's wrong with them? Why are you looking at Jingjing with that weird look? Is there something on Jingjing's face? Han Jingjing asked curiously. No. Let's not talk about that. Why are you waiting for me here? Lin Yi didn't want to continue the topic. Right. Jing Jing almost forgot something important. Han Jingjing lowered her voice. Lin Yi bro, Jing Jing made a refinement fire. What? Lin Yi's jaw almost dropped. Refinement fire? It had only been a few days, and Han Jingjing had already made it. What's wrong, Lin Yi bro? Is Jing Jing stupid? It's been so many days. Han Jingjing looked at Lin Yi innocently. But Jing Jing's been working so hard. That refinement fire practitioner's arts went through Jing Jing's calculations and scientific optimizations. That's why I was able to make it today. It would have taken me a long time otherwise. Chapter 2035. Lin Yi had the urge to kill himself after hearing Han Jingjing's words. He'd rather die than live. He was an idiot among idiots. Han Jingjing was able to condense her refinement fire in just a few days. One had to know that she started off as a normal person. She had to first become a practitioner and condense her qi, successfully crossing from a normal person to a golden class early phase master. Although it was relatively easy for a normal person to cross from a normal person to a golden class with the help of a refiner's art, it would take at most 1 or 2 years, at least 1 or 2 months. But that was still 1 or 2 months. Han Jingjing had only done it for a few days. Even if Han Jingjing was a golden class now, it didn't mean that she had the strength of a golden class master. But it was still shocking to Lin Yi. Yao, Shu, you guys go back to the villa first. I have something to talk to Jing. Lin Yi took a deep breath, suppressing his shock as he spoke to Meng Yaro and Yu Shu. There are no outsiders in our villa, let Jing Jing come in too. Meng Yaro wasn't someone who didn't see the big picture. If Han Jingjing really could concoct pills, then it'd solve a lot of Lin Yi's problems. She'd be of great help to him, and so Meng Yaro decided that she'd have to build a good relationship with this girl next door. Sure. Lin Yi nodded and said to Han Jingjing, let's talk at my house. Okay, I haven't been to Lin Yi Big Bro's house yet. I'll go now. Han Jingjing nodded and was about to enter the villa with Lin Yi when she slapped her forehead. Wait, Jing Jing's tablet isn't here yet. I'll go get it. After saying that, Han Jingjing ran back to her villa again. Not long after, she appeared in front of everyone again with a tablet in her arms. Wow, Lin Yi Big Bro, your villa is so cozy. Han Jingjing said in surprise as soon as she entered the door. It's not as luxurious as yours. Lin Yi smiled. But Jing Jing doesn't like those retro decorations. Han Jingjing shook her head. Jing Jing, come to my room. Lin Yi's attention was not on the decorations. What Lin Yi wanted to see the most was whether Han Jingjing could really condense the pill fire. Okay. Han Jingjing nodded. Meng Yaro and Yu Shu, on the other hand, didn't disturb him. They didn't know how to concoct pills at all, and they didn't want to join in the fun. They waited quietly in the living room. Brother Lin Yi, is this your room? It's so cozy. Jing Jing wants to move in. Han Jingjing looked at Lin Yi's room, and her eyes immediately revealed a look of love. Okay, feel free to sit. Lin Yi smiled. As for moving here, forget it. If you like it, I'll get someone to renovate your villa. Then don't trouble yourself. Han Jingjing shook her head and took off her shoes. She curled up her legs and sat on Lin Yi's bed. You can already condense a pill flame? Does that mean you're a golden class now? Lin Yi asked. Yeah, according to that refiner's arts, Jing Jing should be at the early phase of the golden class. I'm just at the entry level. Han Jingjing nodded. Entry. A few days of golden class. Lin Yi took a deep breath and sighed. I'm really surprised. Jing Jing, you're amazing. Lin Yi didn't pay much attention when he was outside, but now that he was in the room, Lin Yi could tell that Han Jingjing really did have the spiritual strength of the early phase of the golden class. It wasn't much of a help in actual combat, but Han Jingjing was a solid golden class. Ah! Is Jing Jing really that amazing? Han Jingjing touched her blushing cheeks, a little embarrassed, as if she'd gotten a compliment from Lin Yi. Jing Jing thought I was stupid. No, you're not. You're one of the strongest prodigies I've ever seen. Lin Yi thought that Zhong Naipao and Xiao Xiao were prodigies too, right? Their speed was also very fast. Jing Jing is so happy. Jing Jing was very nervous before this. Han Jingjing said happily. Lin Yi bro, then Jing Jing will show you how to condense a pill flame now, okay? Okay, go ahead. Lin Yi nodded with a serious face. Yeah. Han Jingjing also withdrew her joyful expression. Her originally adorable little face also became incomparably solemn. She extended her right hand and in a split second, a bright red flame appeared out of thin air in her palm. This was a fire element pill flame. That fast? Lin Yi's eyes widened as if he had seen a ghost. This speed was much faster than Lin Yi's condensing speed. But one had to know that the refinement fire formula Boss Bai gave him was much more complicated than the one he got from Zhongliju. It required the qi to circulate through all the meridians in the body for a long time before the refinement fire could be formed in the palm. But Han Jingjing didn't wait that long, and the refinement fire appeared in her palm right away. This was unbelievable to Lin Yi. What kind of speed was Han Jingjing at? Ah, that's already fast. Jing Jing feels like it's still a bit slow. Han Jingjing put away the refinement fire in her hand. That's slow. Lin Yi's self-esteem took a huge hit. This Han Jingjing was a monster, but Lin Yi couldn't understand why Han Jingjing's refinement fire was so fast. One had to know that according to Boss Bai's formula, it was already very fast to condense the refinement fire in 3 minutes. 5 minutes was the normal time. Although the formula he got from Zhongliju's tomb was faster than this, it would normally take around a minute or 30 to 50 seconds. But it wasn't as fast as Han Jingjing, who could condense the refinement fire in 20 seconds. Of course, the speed at which the alchemy fire was condensed had nothing to do with alchemy. This was because alchemy was a quiet and patient job. It could not be rushed. One had to be fully prepared before they could concentrate on refining the alchemy in seclusion until the alchemy was completed or failed. So when the refinement started, the speed of condensing the refinement fire didn't matter at all. Tens of seconds or tens of minutes were the same, as long as the refinement fire was formed. This was also the reason why Boss Bai didn't learn any other after he got used to this formula. After all roads lead to Rome. The only difference was the speed, but the result was the same. There was no need for Boss Bai to study other formulas. Chapter 2036. However, Lin Yi was very puzzled. How did Han Jingjing do it? Jing Jing doesn't know either. Jing Jing thought it was still a bit slow. Han Jingjing said, Jing Jing, how did you do it? From what I know, the mantra I gave you to condense the fire requires at least 3 minutes to condense the fire, right? How did you do it in 20 seconds? Lin Yi was full of doubts. That's because Jing Jing modified the mantra for congealing the core fire, Han Jingjing said. It did take 3 minutes before, but Jing Jing thought it was too slow. I was afraid that when I demonstrated it to Big Brother Lin Yi Big Brother would get impatient or think that Jing Jing was too stupid and ignore me in the future. So Jing Jing changed the mantra for condensing the fire. This thing can be changed. Lin Yi felt like he was about to explode. His endurance was reaching its limit. Yes. Han Jingjing nodded matter-of-factly. Then, she quickly opened the tablet and pulled up a picture. It was a meridian diagram of the human body. After enlarging it, she explained to Lin Yi, Big Brother Lin Yi, look. The mantra for condensing the fire was like this. It guided the true qi in the body through this main meridian, and then through this meridian to the Qihai acupoint. But according to Jing Jing's judgment, if the true qi didn't go this way, but this meridian, and split into 3 small streams of true qi, passing through a few small meridians near the main meridian, and then to this meridian before finally returning to the Qihai acupoint, then the speed would be much faster. Although the cross-section of these small meridians is small, their length is shorter than the main meridian. Also, the true qi is split into 3 streams, passing through 3 small meridians. This way, the time is even shorter. Finally, the true qi will gather in this meridian and reach the Qihai acupoint, saving some time. Similarly, the other meridians are the same. After listening to Han Jingjing's explanation, Lin Yi was so shocked that his eyeballs almost popped out. This works too. This Han Jingjing was really scientific in alchemy. She could even think of this method. It could simply be described as shocking. Jingjing, you're amazing. Lin Yi looked at Han Jingjing's tablet and was speechless for a long time. After a while, He came back to his senses and spat out these words. Really? Big brother Lin Yi, you're the best. Jingjing also feels very awesome after being praised by you. Han Jingjing tilted her head and the corners of her mouth curled up into a beautiful arc. 2 dimples appeared on her beautiful and fair face. She was obviously very happy. Lin Yi took a deep breath and nodded. Jingjing, you really are a genius. Hihi, actually, my family always praises me, but I don't know if they're really praising me or just spoiling me. But Lin Yi Big Bro's words definitely won't be false. Han Jingjing said happily. Actually, in Jingjing's eyes, this refinement fire condensing chant is a bit complicated. Some of the steps can be skipped, but Jingjing doesn't have the time to analyze and test them one by one. Right now, Jingjing is just shortening some of the cheese path. After hearing Han Jingjing's words, Lin Yi's heart skipped a beat. The one he had in his hand was Zhongliju's refinement fire condensing arts, but it wasn't as complicated as Boss Bai's. It was probably what Han Jingjing had said, removing some useless steps. If he gave that refinement fire condensing arts to Han Jingjing, who knew what kind of shocking things this genius girl could create? But Lin Yi temporarily suppressed that idea. After all, shortening the condensing time didn't have much use for real elixir refinement, unless it was a competition with a fixed time, or in some emergency situation. The rest was just showing off in front of other refiners. Other than that, the condensing time of the refinement fire really didn't have any other uses. That was all Lin Yi could think of. Jingjing, other than condensing the refinement fire, can you also change the intensity and temperature of the refinement fire? Lin Yi asked. I can. Han Jingjing's reply made Lin Yi's heart tighten again. If it weren't for Lin Yi's strong will, he would have been beaten black and blue by now. I can. Then show me. Lin Yi said. Okay. Han Jingjing nodded and put down the tablet. She reached out her right hand again, and very quickly, the refinement fire appeared again. But this time, after the refinement fire appeared, Han Jingjing began to control it, making it grow stronger and stronger. Hiss. Lin Yi took in a cold breath as he looked at Han Jingjing's right hand. He wanted to cut it off and put it on his own. Lin Yi was also a dabbler refiner, and naturally, he could clearly feel the fire growing stronger and stronger. What shocked Lin Yi wasn't just that Han Jingjing could change the intensity of the fire, but the precision of Han Jingjing's control. The fire was changing bit by bit, becoming stronger and stronger, and not that kind of big and small. This meant that Han Jingjing could already change the intensity of the fire as she please. As expected, the refinement fire on Han Jingjing's right hand gradually became smaller and smaller, smaller and smaller, until it was so weak that it was about to be extinguished, but it didn't go out. It was obvious that Han Jingjing's control was more precise. What about the temperature? Lin Yi took a deep breath and continued to ask. It can also. At this moment, Han Jingjing's forehead had formed a thin layer of sweat. Obviously, controlling the refinement fire consumed a lot of physical strength. As soon as Han Jingjing's voice fell, Lin Yi suddenly felt that the refinement fire in Han Jingjing's hand quickly became hot, and the temperature of the whole room was raised at this moment. Good. Lin Yi couldn't help but cheer. This Han Jingjing really surprised him. She was actually so talented in the art of alchemy. Ah! Brother Lin Yi. Jingjing can't hold it anymore. Jingjing can't hold it anymore. Just after Lin Yi cheered, Han Jingjing's breathing became rapid, and she said weakly. In the end, her voice turned into a moan. Lin Yi suddenly had black lines on his head. He naturally knew what Han Jingjing meant. Alchemy was a matter that consumed a lot of physical strength, and controlling the refinement fire out of thin air was the same. Han Jingjing was only an alchemist with the strength of the early stage of the golden class. It was already not bad for her to be able to hold on for so long, so at this time, it was normal that she couldn't hold on anymore. After Han Jingjing finished this sentence, she put away the refinement fire on her right hand and fell on Lin Yi's bed, as if she was very weak and couldn't speak anymore. And the sweat on her forehead instantly rolled onto Lin Yi's bed, making it wet. Chapter 2037. Although the refiner could condense the fire, the point of elixir making was to do it in one go. There couldn't be any interruption in the middle. It wasn't possible to stop halfway, rest, recover for a few days, and then continue. That was impossible. As long as one stopped halfway, the elixir would basically be useless, and there was no way to divide the elixir into multiple batches. Looking at Han Jingjing, who was lying on the bed with a red face, Lin Yi sweated in his heart. This was too easy to misunderstand. Outside the room, Detective Shu 007 widened his eyes and said to Meng Yarrow in disbelief, Yarrow sis, shield bro, and that Han Jingjing seem to be together. Meng Yarrow naturally heard Han Jingjing's voice. In fact, when Lin Yi and Han Jingjing entered the room, Meng Yarrow and Yushu didn't even dare to turn on the TV, so they didn't dare to disturb them. Thus, in the quiet villa, the sound became very clear, and they could vaguely hear the conversation in Lin Yi's room. However, although it was full of ambiguity, Meng Yarrow still trusted Lin Yi's character, so she said, Shu, don't talk nonsense, it's not what you think. But, it seems like it. Yushu said, with Detective Shu's judgment, something must have happened inside. Although Meng Yarrow didn't think that Lin Yi was that kind of person, doing something dirty with Han Jingjing in the room, but Shu's words made her curious, and she wanted to go into the room to see what was going on. However, before Yushu knocked on the door, Lin Yi opened it first, and saw Shu standing at the door. He was surprised. Shu, why are you here? I heard from Han Jingjing that she couldn't hold on much longer. I was worried about her, so I came to check. Yushu said. Are you just worried about her? Lin Yi looked at Xiao Shu, who was trying to see the situation in the room, and asked with a faint smile. Yeah. Yushu, naturally, wouldn't admit that she was here to catch them in the act. Go in then. Look at how anxious you are. Lin Yi said with a smile as he stepped aside, letting Yushu in. Sniff, sniff. Yushu sniffed the air, trying to sniff the room for something special. She couldn't smell anything at all, only to be disappointed. Yushu's eyes moved to the bed in the room, and her heart skipped a beat when she saw Han Jingjing lying on the bed. She frowned when she saw the clothes Han Jingjing was wearing. Was it really nothing, or were they fast enough to get dressed already? Yushu walked up to the bed and saw the puddle of water on it. Holy shit, shield bro, did Han Jingjing do this? Yushu said, shocked. Yeah. Lin Yi nodded, not thinking much of it. Yushu, on the other hand, was different. She'd read about it in books before, and she thought that Han Jingjing knew how to do it. Yushu sniffed the puddle of water on the bed with the spirit of research, and asked curiously, there doesn't seem to be any smell. That's Jingjing's sweat, what smell could there be? Lin Yi sweated. What was Yushu thinking? She's sweating. Yushu realized that she was thinking too much, but said, why is she sweating so much? Did she catch a cold and shield bro cured her? Is that why she's sweating so much? Condensing alchemy is tiring. Lin Yi looked at Yushu and smiled. Shu, you're not thinking about something unhealthy again, are you? No, I'm just here to comfort Han Jingjing on behalf of Yarrow sis. She knows alchemy, so naturally, she'll be very useful to shield bro in the future. Yarrow sis, and I don't want anything to happen to her, Yushu said confidently. Really? Lin Yi asked. Of course. Yushu nodded. Alright, let her rest for a while, let's not disturb her, Lin Yi said. Han Jingjing was too tired, so she fell asleep on the bed. Lin Yi didn't want to disturb her. Originally, Lin Yi wanted to use the art of dragon mastery to help her recover her strength, but since she fell asleep, he'd wait until she woke up. At this point, Lin Yi didn't want to hide anything from Han Jingjing anymore. Lin Yi also planned to let Han Jingjing study the refinement art he got from Zhongliju tomb. This genius girl didn't hold back at all, telling him such a powerful research result. If Lin Yi kept it a secret, then it wouldn't be right. And he could tell that Han Jingjing didn't have any bad intentions towards Lin Yi. On the contrary, she seemed to rely on him. She didn't tell anyone else about good things, but only him. As a result, Lin Yi had quite a good impression of Han Jingjing. Yushu didn't find anything and couldn't help but feel disappointed. She left the room and saw Meng Yao's questioning gaze. Yushu shook her head. Meng Yao smiled at Yushu's expression. She had guessed that there was nothing going on between Han Jingjing and Lin Yi, and it turned out to be the case. Sitting on the sofa with Yushu, Lin Yi took out the round bead he got from the Tiger Lion Garden and started studying it. This thing was very odd. It looked like calcification, and it was round in shape, but it didn't have much luster. It was a bit dark, but within the bead, Lin Yi could clearly feel that there was a very high level of energy. However, this energy was different from normal spiritual qi. It was more like some kind of pure qi was injected into it, and he didn't know what it was for. Lin Yi's instincts told him that this was most likely a good one, but, even if it was a good thing, Lin Yi didn't know what it was. He could only take a picture with his phone and send it to Old Lin. Old Lin was very knowledgeable, and he might know what it was and what it was for. When he sent the email, he told Old Lin about the origin of this thing, as well as the fact that there was energy within it. But, to Lin Yi's disappointment, Old Lin's reply came very quickly. Old Lin's answer was that he didn't know, and he'd never seen or heard of it before. How is it? Yushu was a little anxious as well, wanting to know what it was. Nothing much. The old man doesn't know either. Lin Yi shook his head. Looks like this thing really isn't common. Chapter 2038. That's true. I'll send another message to Forbert and ask. Lin Yi heard Meng Yao's suggestion and felt that it was doable. He sent another message to Forbert. This time, Uncle Fu didn't reply. Instead, he called him back. Forbert. Lin Yi picked up the phone. Yi, this thing you sent me. I think I remember it. There was something similar in the sect's treasury, but there were too many things in there, and I didn't pay much attention to the things that weren't useful to my training. Forbert hesitated and said embarrassedly, I didn't have to worry about anything in the sect, the only thing I had to do was train. Oh? There's something like this. Lin Yi was surprised. If Forbert had something like this in the sect's treasury, then it shouldn't be trash. Yes. If my master was here, he might recognize it, but Forbert said. I really don't remember what it is. Forget it, it's fine. Since you don't remember it, there's no need to worry. Lin Yi didn't dwell on the problem. Forbert, you go ahead, I'll look into it myself. Okay, I'm really sorry, I couldn't help much. Forbert had always been grateful to Lin Yi, and he always wanted to help Lin Yi. Especially when Lin Yi not only helped him, but also Grandma Sunday. Forbert couldn't thank him enough, but Lin Yi didn't have anything to trouble him with. This one time, he couldn't help him, it's all right. Lin Yi smiled. After hanging up the phone, Lin Yi continued to fiddle with the bead in his hand. Since Han Jingjing had not woken up yet, Lin Yi had nothing to do now, so he naturally continued to study this treasure. That lion has been with Sky Thunder Pig and General Weiwu for so long, his eyes shouldn't be that bad. Xiao Shu mumbled, looks like this is a good treasure, but I don't know how to use it. Thunder Pig. Lin Yi's eyes lit up. At the mention of the Skybolt Pig, Lin Yi thought of a way to test whether or not it was a good thing. Little Shu, go get the Skybolt Pig. Lin Yi said. Oh, Lightning Pig. Yushu blinked, but got up and walked out the villa's back door anyways. Not long after, she was back with the pig in her arms. Skybolt Pig, take a look and see if this is a treasure, Lin Yi said as he placed the bead on the floor in front of Skybolt Pig. Skybolt Pig's ability to identify treasures was extraordinary. This guy was very good, he could tell what was valuable and what wasn't with just one look. Meng Yaro and Yushu suddenly understood Lin Yi's intention. Lin Yi wanted to use Skybolt Pig to test the value of this thing. Rare. Seeing the round bead on the ground, the Sky Thunder Pig cried out in excitement. It used its two front paws to pick up the bead and held it in its bosom, as if it had found a rare treasure. It really is a good thing, Lin Yi nodded. Skybolt Pig's action said it all. If it wasn't a good thing, Skybolt Pig wouldn't react like this. One had to know that this little guy wouldn't be interested in normal treasures. Rare. Skybolt Pig heard Lin Yi's words and nodded. Skybolt Pig, looking at you, you must know what this is, right? Lin Yi pointed at the bead in Skybolt Pig's arms. Rare. Skybolt Pig nodded. Chapter 2051, Spiritual Beast Core. Should we ask Forbert? Meng Yaro suddenly said, Forbert used to be from a big sect, would he know what this is? You're right, I'll send a message to Forbert and ask. Lin Yi heard Meng Yao's suggestion and felt that it was doable. He sent another message to Forbert. This time, Forbert didn't reply but called him directly. Forbert. Lin Yi picked up the phone. Yi, this thing you sent me. I think I remember it. There was something like this in the sect's treasury, but there were too many things in there. I didn't pay much attention to the things that weren't useful for my training. Forbert hesitated and said, embarrassed, I didn't have to worry about anything in the sect, the only thing I had to do was train. Oh? There's something like this. Lin Yi was surprised. If Forbert had something like this in the sect's treasury, then it shouldn't be trash. Yes. If my master was here, he might recognize it, but Forbert said, I really don't remember what it is. Forget it, it's fine. Since you don't remember, there's no need to worry. Lin Yi didn't dwell on this question and said, Forbert, you go ahead, I'll look into it myself. Okay, I'm really sorry, I couldn't help much. Forbert had always been grateful to Lin Yi and always wanted to help Lin Yi. Especially when Lin Yi not only helped him but also Grandma's son, Forbert was very grateful. However, Lin Yi didn't have anything to trouble him. This time, he couldn't help him. It's fine, Lin Yi smiled. After hanging up the phone, Lin Yi continued to play with the bead in his hand. Since Han Jingjing hadn't woken up, Lin Yi had nothing to do now, so he continued to study this treasure. That lion has been with Skybolt Pig and General Weiwu for so long, his eyes shouldn't be that bad. Shu muttered, looks like this is a good treasure, but I don't know how to use it. Skybolt Pig. Lin Yi's eyes lit up. Mentioning Skybolt Pig made Lin Yi think of a way to test whether this thing was good or not. Shu, go get Skybolt Pig. Lin Yi said. Oh. Skybolt Pig. Yushu paused, but she still got up and walked out of the villa's back door. After a while, she carried Skybolt Pig into the villa. Skybolt Pig, take a look and see if this is a treasure, Lin Yi said as he placed the bead on the floor in front of Skybolt Pig. Skybolt Pig's ability to identify treasures was extraordinary. This guy was very good, he could tell what was valuable and what wasn't. Meng Yarrow and Yushu suddenly understood Lin Yi's intention. Lin Yi wanted to use Skybolt Pig to test the value of this thing. Chirp chirp. Seeing the round bead on the ground, the Sky Thunder Pig cried out in excitement. It used its two front paws to pick up the bead and held it in its bosom, as if it had found a rare treasure. It really is a good thing, Lin Yi nodded. Skybolt Pig's action said it all. If it wasn't a good thing, Skybolt Pig wouldn't react like this. After all, this little guy wouldn't be interested in normal treasures. Chirp chirp. Skybolt Pig heard Lin Yi's words and nodded. Skybolt Pig, looking at you, you must know what this thing is, right? Lin Yi pointed at the bead in Skybolt Pig's arms. Chirp chirp. Skybolt Pig nodded. Then what is this thing? What does it do? Lin Yi saw Skybolt Pig nodding and quickly asked. Chirp chirp. Skybolt Pig gestured with his paws and pointed at the solid wood on the floor of the villa. He shook his head. Oh, you're saying that you can't write on the floor? Lin Yi suddenly remembered that Skybolt Pig could write with his paws to communicate with Lin Yi on the Ice Palace mountain. Chirp chirp. Skybolt Pig quickly nodded. Let's go to the backyard. Lin Yi, naturally, didn't want to go to the front yard. He could see what was going on in the villa from the outside. If someone saw a pig communicating with a human on the floor, wouldn't they be scared to death? The backyard, on the other hand, was private property. It was surrounded by a high wall, and people wouldn't be able to see it unless they climbed the wall. Meng Yarrow and Yushu had heard from Lin Yi that Skybolt Pig could write, but it was their first time seeing it. They couldn't help but wonder. What is this thing? Lin Yi pointed at the bead in Skybolt Pig's arms. Skybolt Pig used his front paw to write on the soft soil in the backyard, Spirit Beast Essence Core. Spirit Beast Essence Core? Lin Yi paused. What is this? Spirit beasts form an essence core in their body, and spirit beasts of Sky class and above have an essence core. Skybolt Pig said. You're saying that this is a Sky class spirit beast essence core? Lin Yi asked, surprised. Chirp chirp. Skybolt Pig nodded with the bead in his arms. What is this thing used for? Lin Yi asked. Spirit beasts can use it for training, and humans can use it to make elixirs. Skybolt Pig said. Training? Oh, you can just train with me, you don't need this, Lin Yi said as he snatched the bead from Skybolt Pig's arms. Chirp chirp. Skybolt Pig felt wronged and wrote, even for training, spirit beasts don't know how to use it, don't know how to use it. That's even better. Lin Yi was glad that Skybolt Pig didn't know how to use it. If the lion used it on him, it would be his turn to give it to Lin Yi. What kind of spirit beast essence core does this thing belong to, and what level is it? Lin Yi asked. My level is too low, I can't tell. Skybolt Pig wrote. Then how do you use it for making elixirs? Lin Yi asked. I don't know. Skybolt Pig wrote again. Even Zhong Liju doesn't know? Lin Yi was surprised that even Skybolt Pig didn't know. Maybe he does, but he never told me. Skybolt Pig shook his head. I see. All right then. Lin Yi put the bead away. Although it didn't seem to be of much use at the moment, it might be useful in the future. Skybolt Pig looked at the treasure being taken away by Lin Yi and felt helpless, but he didn't dare do anything to Lin Yi. After all, it was only a legend that an essence could be used for training. Skybolt Pig didn't know the exact method of training. Chapter 2039. It wasn't as beneficial as Lin Yi helping it level up. During this period of time, it and General Weiwu had been following Lin Yi, and now they were already Mystic Late Phase Peak Jiaozhu and Jiaozhu. This leveling speed was much faster than that illusory inner core. Therefore, Skybolt Pig was only a little disappointed before he returned to his own place to play with General Weiwu. Lin Yi, on the other hand, returned to his room with Meng Yaro and Yu Shu. Han Jingjing woke up as well, stretching lazily as she let out a seductive moan. Yaro Yao, don't you think that this Han Jingjing is trying to seduce Shield Bro a little? Yu Shu whispered to Meng Yaro. Is that so? Meng Yaro blinked. Han Jingjing's so dumb, she shouldn't have any ulterior motives, right? Shu's dumb too. Yu Shu said. Do you think anyone can be Shu? Meng Yaro said, I don't think so, but this Han Jingjing does have some talent in elixir making. Otherwise, Lin Yi wouldn't think so highly of her. After all, Lin Yi rushed to Han Jingjing's room the moment she woke up. Jingjing, you're awake? Lin Yi bro, did Jingjing fall asleep? Han Jingjing rubbed her eyes sleepily. I'm sorry, I was so tired, I couldn't take it anymore and fell asleep. I didn't do it on purpose. Lin Yi bro, you're not mad, are you? Why would I be mad? Lin Yi smiled. You used up a lot of qi to condense the fire, it's normal to be tired. Jingjing thought that I was useless, it's good that I'm normal. Han Jingjing said happily, Lin Yi bro, Jingjing learned this now. But I used up all my qi just now. Although this refiner's arts can recover my qi really quickly, I'll need to go back and train for a few days to recover. I can't practice with Lin Yi bro for now. No need, I can recover now. Lin Yi said, however, don't tell anyone about what happened next, not even your brother. Can you do that? Of course, Jingjing's mouth is very tight. She never talks nonsense. Han Jingjing said, no one in the family knows that Jingjing is learning alchemy. Even my brother doesn't know what Jingjing is doing. Ian, that's good. Lin Yi said, because what's going to happen next might be unimaginable, so you must keep it a secret and not tell anyone. Ian. In that case, I'll only be good to big brother Lin Yi from now on. I won't have any contact with anyone else. That way, I won't have a chance to say it. Han Jingjing nodded and promised. There's no need for that. There's no problem with normal interactions. Lin Yi broke into a sweat. This Han Jingjing wouldn't be with anyone else in the future. Was she going to cling on to him for the rest of her life? However, this kind of alchemy genius, Lin Yi really couldn't bear to push her to others. An evil thought of taking her for himself arose in the bottom of Lin Yi's heart. Lin Yi quickly shook his head and dispelled this unrealistic idea. In any case, Jingjing will listen to big brother Lin Yi in the future. Han Jingjing said. Give me your hand. Lin Yi said, in a while, I will help you recover your physical strength. At the same time, I will also help you improve your strength. You just need to circulate the alchemist's auxiliary mantra like usual. Okay, Jingjing understands. Han Jingjing stretched out her hands and handed them to Lin Yi. Lin Yi reached out and checked Han Jingjing's pulse. But what surprised Lin Yi was that Han Jingjing didn't seem to ask why recently. It seemed like she trusted what he said more. She didn't question anything he asked her to do. Fortunately, he didn't have any bad thoughts towards her. Otherwise, this genius girl would trust others too easily. This wasn't a good thing. If she was cheated, it would be too late to regret it. In the past, Lin Yi and Han Jingjing weren't very familiar, so he didn't care so much. But now that he was familiar with Han Jingjing, and Han Jingjing knew alchemy, Lin Yi had to watch out for her in the future. He couldn't let her be cheated by others. Lin Yi directly circulated the second level of the art of dragon mastery. Now, Lin Yi could already circulate the second level skillfully. Although it hadn't reached the perfect state, it was easy to help others recover their physical strength and improve their strength. Plus, Lin Yi didn't require Han Jingjing to reach Earth class. As long as she reached Mystic Late Phase Peak, that would be enough. Han Jingjing was operating the Alchemist Auxiliary Mental Cultivation method when she suddenly felt a powerful energy that belonged to her pouring into her body from her meridians. Han Jingjing's eyes flashed with a strange light, but she didn't have time to hesitate. She hurriedly operated the mental cultivation method and absorbed this energy into her body. Golden class early phase. Very quickly, Han Jingjing's physical strength was replenished, and she returned to her previous state. This speed surprised and delighted Han Jingjing. So, recovering strength could be this fast. But it didn't stop there. Han Jingjing's strength was still rising. Golden class early phase peak. Golden class mid phase peak. In the blink of an eye, she broke through to Mystic. When Han Jingjing broke through to Mystic, there was no feeling of a limit. This made Lin Yi feel strange. Whether it was for Forbert, Chentian, Lingshan, Yutian, or the others, they all had some difficulty breaking through the barrier. It wasn't too hard, but there was always a barrier. However, this did not happen to Han Jingjing. He wasn't sure if it was because of the second stage of the art of dragon mastery, or because Han Jingjing was practicing a supplementary art for alchemists, so it was much easier to level up than other arts, and so, very quickly, Han Jingjing's strength broke through Mystic Early Phase and reached Mystic Late Phase P. The second level of the art of dragon mastery was much faster than the first level. It had only been an hour, and Han Jingjing had become a Mystic Late Phase Peak. Although this master didn't live up to his name, his strength was still there. Lin Yi bro, Jingjing is a Mystic Late Phase Peak now? Is that true? Han Jingjing looked at Lin Yi in disbelief. Lin Yi bro, you're too amazing. Jingjing admires you so much. You can turn Jingjing into Mystic in an instant. Woo woo. Lin Yi bro is a genius. Jingjing is a big idiot. I've been training for so many days and I'm only golden class early phase, but Lin Yi bro can turn Jingjing into Mystic Late Phase Peak in an instant. Chapter 2040. Actually, you're not stupid. Lin Yi sweated as he listened to Han Jingjing's words, but his pride was greatly satisfied. Yes, Jingjing's family actually said that Jingjing is a genius, but it depends on who I'm comparing myself to. Compared to Lin Yi bro, Jingjing isn't a genius anymore. Han Jingjing said, so I've decided, I'll always be by Lin Yi bro's side, that way I'll be influenced by Lin Yi bro and become a genius too. Jingjing, try condensing a golden class second level refinement fire and see if you can control it. Lin Yi said. Golden class second level, Jingjing hasn't studied it yet. With Jingjing's strength, she could only condense a golden class first level refinement fire, and she didn't have the time to calculate and modify the second level refinement fire chant, so it might not work. Han Jingjing said worriedly. Try it. Lin Yi said. Yes, I'll try it then. Han Jingjing nodded and found the chant and control method of a golden class second level refinement fire in the tablet. After a few times, she memorized it and reached her hand out to try. 1 minute, 2 minutes, 3 minutes, 5 minutes, 10 minutes. Just when Lin Yi was about to give up, a refinement fire appeared in Han Jingjing's hand, a golden class second level refinement fire. Lin Yi could tell with one look that the refinement fire in Han Jingjing's hand was a golden class second level refinement fire. Because Lin Yi could condense it as well, according to the refinement fire chant that Zhongliju left behind, Lin Yi could even condense a mystic first level refinement fire, but it was useless. He could condense it, but he couldn't control it. No matter if Lin Yi wanted to change the temperature or the intensity of the fire, the refinement fire would suddenly go out. Speaking of geniuses, Lin Yi was quite a genius, but if he couldn't maintain the refinement fire, everything would be in vain. Can you change the intensity and temperature? Lin Yi asked. Jingjing, give it a try. As Han Jingjing spoke, she began to change the intensity of the alchemic fire in her hand, from small to large, and then from large to small. The same was true for the temperature. It went from low to high, then from high to low. Lin Yi looked at Han Jingjing in front of him and was filled with emotions. He really wanted to hug her and give her a kiss. What kind of genius was she? She could even do this. Good, very good. Continue, let's see how long you can last. Lin Yi couldn't help but praise. Han Jingjing nodded. However, after about half an hour or so, Han Jingjing's face began to look worse, and the sweat on her forehead increase. Big brother Lin Yi, are you done? Jingjing can't hold on any longer. Han Jingjing finally couldn't hold on any longer. It seemed that condensing the pill fire was an extremely exhausting matter, especially changing the fire's temperature and intensity. It took up a lot more stamina. Han Jingjing was a mystic late-phase peak, but this short amount of time was enough for her to be exhausted. Her forehead was covered in sweat. All right, stop. Lin Yi looked at Han Jingjing's exhausted look and sighed in his heart. Although Han Jingjing was a genius, she couldn't make up for the lack of strength. No wonder Bingtang once said that alchemists were so rare. Even an alchemist with the strength of a yellow rank 3rd level might not be able to refine a yellow rank 3rd level elixir. Even if you could condense and control a golden level 3 pill fire, you wouldn't be able to do it if you didn't have the stamina to maintain it. Han Jingjing was a mystic late phase peak, but she still couldn't maintain a golden level 2 pill fire for too long. With Han Jingjing's current stamina, she could only maintain a furnace of golden level 2 pill fire. Half an hour wasn't short, but it wasn't long either. Of course, if it was golden level 1 pill fire, it shouldn't be much of a problem. With Han Jingjing's current strength, she should be able to make a few more furnaces. Phew. Lin Yi bro, Jingjing is so useless. I'm already a mystic late phase peak, but I can only maintain a golden level 2 pill fire for half an hour. Han Jingjing looked at Lin Yi with a face full of shame. It's already not easy. It's your first time condensing a golden level 2 pill fire, and you can control it as you please. This is already so much better than many people. Lin Yi smiled bitterly and said with some shame, you're even better than me. Jingjing is not as good as Lin Yi bro, don't say that, Jingjing will get arrogant. Han Jingjing rubbed her hands embarrassedly and squinted her eyes. 2 dimples hung on her pretty face like a happy kitten. I heard that in order to concoct a 2nd level pill, you need to be an Earth class refiner, and in order to concoct a 3rd level pill, you need to be a Sky class master. That's why you can control a 2nd level pill fire for half an hour when you're only a mystic late phase peak. Lin Yi said, this is already a very good result. This amount of time is enough to make a furnace of pill fire. Really? Then it seems that Jingjing isn't an idiot. Han Jingjing said, but Lin Yi bro, from Jingjing's point of view, the reason why I only lasted for half an hour this time is because of the pill fire condensation chant. This chant is too complicated. It makes the qi pass through several meridians and acupoints of the body. This will definitely waste a lot of time and energy. If I could simplify this chant, I might be able to last another 10 minutes or so. Jingjing, you don't need to practice the mantra I gave you previously. Take a look at this mantra, Lin Yi said as he took out Zhongliju's notes and flipped to the page with the chant. Write this down, and also the other types of pill fire condensation chant as well. Study it when you get back. This is much easier than the chant you have. This is too easy. Han Jingjing looked at the 1st level pill fire condensation chant in the notes Lin Yi gave her. She gasped. This is what Lin Yi bro summarized and improved. It's even easier than Jingjing's. Lin Yi bro is indeed better than Jingjing. Man. This isn't my conclusion, it's someone else's. Lin Yi didn't want to lie to Han Jingjing. Lin Yi felt that it was a bit embarrassing, but Lin Yi didn't like to brag to his friends. Something this powerful can get into Lin Yi bro's hands, that's enough to prove that Lin Yi bro is extraordinary. Han Jingjing said, still in awe. Lin Yi didn't say anything, but he thought to himself, was this genius girl really stupid or just pretending? Every time she said something, it always satisfied Lin Yi's ego. Chapter 2041. Then make a copy. Remember, don't let anyone see it, Lin Yi said. Han Jingjing said and started taking pictures with the tablet. After taking pictures of the condensing technique, Han Jingjing didn't touch the other things in the notes. Lin Yi didn't let her see it, and she didn't ask for it. At the back, there are some notes and recipes written by first and second level golden class refiners. You can buy them too and study them when you get back. Try making some simple elixirs. Since Lin Yi had taken out the notes, he wouldn't be stingy. But the higher level things, Lin Yi didn't want Han Jingjing to look at it for the time being. After all, Han Jingjing's strength hadn't reached that level yet. If she were to study those things too early, it would be like biting off more than she could chew. After taking pictures of the things she needed, Han Jingjing closed the notes and handed it back to Lin Yi. Lin Yi bro, I'm returning it to you. Jingjing will go back and study it. Call me anytime if there's any news. Lin Yi nodded and put the notes away. Han Jingjing went home happily with the tablet, and Lin Yi looked at Han Jingjing's back. The shock in his heart couldn't be any greater, and he couldn't calm down for a long time. Shield bro, that Han Jingjing seems to be very powerful. Yushu stood beside Lin Yi and said to Lin Yi. Very powerful. Very powerful indeed. Lin Yi said, I'm afraid that the heavy responsibility of helping little girl Rock Candy refine pills will fall on her. Lin Yi had already lost confidence in his alchemy level, but he didn't expect that there would be a light at the end of the tunnel. He could wear out iron shoes in fruitless search, only to find it effortlessly. A neighbor and classmate that he met by chance was actually an alchemy genius. This scientific method of alchemy was simply unprecedented and would never be repeated in the future. Compared to Han Jingjing, those alchemists were simply too weak. This little girl was really not an ordinary kind of valiant. Shield bro, I don't think that Han Jingjing is stupid. Yushu said. Not stupid. Lin Yi blinked as he turned to Yushu. It's nothing. Shu was just saying. Yushu changed the topic after that. Shield bro, it's time for breakfast. Grandma's son's ready. Is it time for breakfast already? Lin Yi didn't think that a night had passed without him noticing. If he knew this would happen, he would have asked Han Jingjing to stay for breakfast. After breakfast, Lin Yi didn't waste any more time and went back to his room to train. Even if it was Han Jingjing, due to the limitations of her own strength, she probably wouldn't be able to concoct a golden third-level elixir, so the only thing he could do was to increase his strength. As long as Lin Yi became a Sky-class master and increased Han Jingjing's strength to Earth-class late-phase peak, then Han Jingjing might be able to make Ice Heart Jade Bone Pill. Although, normally, Earth-class late-phase peak strength wasn't enough to support a golden-class third-level refiner's refinement, and the weakest one would be a Sky-class early-phase master, but Han Jingjing's refinement and control method had been simplified and improved. Han Jingjing would probably be able to make a golden-class third-level pill when she was Earth-class late-phase peak. And Lin Yi could only place his hope on this. This was a goal. He wanted to become a Sky-class, and Han Jingjing a golden-class third-level refiner. This way, no matter how domineering Bingtang Girl was, she wouldn't make things difficult for Feng Xiaoxiao. Since he had this goal, Lin Yi naturally couldn't waste any more time. He had to work hard. Thinking about how Han Jingjing worked hard every day to calculate some formulas and meridian diagrams, even when she was walking, this gave Lin Yi the motivation to work hard. But, not long after Lin Yi entered the Jade Space to train, he heard a loud sound not far from the villa. Even Lin Yi's room felt a little shaky. The loud sound brought Lin Yi back to reality from his training, and he quickly ran out of the room. Lin Yi could already confirm that the sound came from Han Jingjing's villa, and so Lin Yi's heart was even more anxious. Han Jingjing's importance to Lin Yi was very clear, and Lin Yi couldn't let any harm come to her. When Lin Yi came to the living room, Meng Yaro and Yu Shu were also panicking. Lin Yi, you heard that loud sound too? Meng Yaro asked anxiously. Yeah, I heard it. It seemed to come from Han Jingjing's villa. Lin Yi frowned. I don't know what happened. Then let's go check it out. Meng Yaro, naturally, understood how important Han Jingjing's skills were to Lin Yi. She quickly followed Lin Yi out of the villa, looking in the direction of Han Jingjing's villa. Seeing that there were no signs of damage outside Han Jingjing's villa, Lin Yi breathed a sigh of relief. It seemed that the house didn't explode, but he didn't know what happened inside. Coming to the door of Han Jingjing's villa, Lin Yi quickly pressed the doorbell. After a while, someone came to open the door, but it wasn't Han Jingjing, but Han Jingjing's brother, Han Xiaoqiao. However, although it was Han Xiaoqiao who opened the door, Lin Yi still breathed a sigh of relief, because Lin Yi didn't see too much panic on Han Xiaoqiao's face, which meant that the problem shouldn't be too big. Xiaoqiao, what happened just now? What made the loud sound? Lin Yi asked. The loud noise was caused by big sister Jingjing, but I don't know what she was doing. Her face was covered in soot, and she came out of the room with dirt all over her face. Then, she went to take a bath. Han Xiaoqiao shook his head. He also didn't know what Han Jingjing was doing. Dirty and dirty. Lin Yi heard that Han Jingjing was fine, and she could still go to take a shower. He was relieved, so he said, then wait for her to finish taking a shower. Okay, Lin Yi Gij, please come in. When Han Xiaoqiao came to open the door, he was still holding a book in his hand. Obviously, he was just studying. This brother and sister were really diligent, which made Lin Yi admire them. Chapter 2042. Date, 6th of November. While they were talking, the security patrol car of the property management company drove over quickly. Obviously, a nearby neighbor had called the property management company. The patrol car stopped, and a few security guards got out of the car and asked, "Excuse me, did the explosion happen here? What happened? Do you need help?" The owners of these luxurious villas were big customers of the property company, and their annual fees were tens of thousands of yuan. It was no wonder that they were so attentive, rushing to the scene as soon as something happened. "Oh, it's nothing. My friend might have accidentally blown up the pressure cooker while cooking." Lin Yi guessed that Han Jingjing must have encountered some problems when she was studying alchemy, but he couldn't tell the security the truth. He just found an excuse to cover it up. "I see, it's fine then." The leader of the security team let out a sigh of relief when he heard Lin Yi's words. He was afraid of a gas explosion or a high-voltage explosion. If these things exploded, it would be related to the property company's maintenance, and they would have to bear the responsibility. However, after hearing that it was just a pressure cooker explosion, and there seemed to be no casualties, he was naturally relieved. "Haha, thank you," Lin Yi said. "It's fine, you guys are the owners of the villa next door, right? Just call us if anything happens." The security team leader saw that the door of Lin Yi's villa was open, and naturally, he guessed that they were the owners of the villa next door. "Okay, you guys go back to your work." Lin Yi waved his hand, indicating that they could leave. The security team got into the patrol car and drove away quickly. Meng Yaro and Yushu let out a sigh of relief when they heard that Han Jingjing was fine. Yao, Shu. You guys go back. I'll wait here and see what she's doing," Lin Yi said. Okay, it's safe," Meng Yaro reminded. "Don't worry," Lin Yi followed Han Xiaoqiao into the villa, while Meng Yaro and Yushu went back to their own villa. "Lin Yi bro, wait for sis here. I'm going to read." Han Xiaoqiao didn't seem to be very sociable. After pouring a drink for Lin Yi, he got up and went back to his room to read. Lin Yi nodded and said, "Go on with your work, don't worry about me." In the living room, with nothing to do, Lin Yi continued to enter the space of the jade pendant to cultivate. Anyway, there were no outsiders in Han Jingjing's house, so Lin Yi didn't need to hide. About half an hour later, footsteps came from upstairs, followed by Han Jingjing's muttering, "It's over, it's over." Jingjing's disfigured. "I'm done for brother Yi, will he not like me anymore? Woo woo, Jingjing." Lin Yi didn't know whether to laugh or cry when he heard Han Jingjing's words. She shouted upstairs, "Jingjing, I'm here. I'm downstairs in the living room." "Ah, Lin Yi bro, you're here to see Jingjing?" Han Jingjing was happy to hear Lin Yi's voice, but stopped when she was about to go downstairs. There was a deep cut on her face. It was on her forehead, and it wouldn't be too obvious if she covered it with her hair, but Han Jingjing still had some. Even with Miracle Dr. Guan's medicine, there would still be a cut left. Lin Yi didn't know whether to laugh or cry. Han Xiaoqiao didn't tell Han Jingjing that he was here, but then he remembered that Han Xiaoqiao went back to his room to read, and Han Jingjing was in the shower. It was normal that he didn't tell her. Jing Jing, you're hurt? Come down and let me see. Lin Yi said. Ah, Lin Yi bro, you already know? Han Jingjing didn't want to go downstairs like this, but after hearing Lin Yi's words, she knew that she couldn't hide it anymore. She could only go downstairs. When she saw Lin Yi, tears of grievance fell down. Lin Yi bro, my head is broken, and my face is disfigured. Will you not like Jing Jing in the future? Why do you say that? Lin Yi realized that Han Jingjing was actually very fragile. Jing Jing thinks that Lin Yi bro only likes beautiful girls, not ugly ones, Han Jingjing said. Otherwise, why would Lin Yi bro be surrounded by beautiful girls? That's just a coincidence, Lin Yi said. Plus, Jing Jing is also very beautiful. But Jing Jing's face is disfigured now. Han Jingjing pointed at the gauze on her forehead and said, Hee, it's okay. I'll help you heal it. Lin Yi smiled slightly. He buckled the pulse on Han Jingjing's arm with one hand and put the other hand on Han Jingjing's forehead. It only took a few seconds. Before Han Jingjing could react, he quickly took it away and said, It's done. It's done. Han Jingjing was slightly surprised. Just now, she only felt a slight chill on her forehead, and then Lin Yi told her it was done. If you don't believe me, you can take a look. Lin Yi pointed at Han Jingjing's forehead and said, Hey, it doesn't seem to hurt too much. Han Jingjing touched her forehead. She was a little surprised. Out of trust in Lin Yi, she directly removed the gauze on her forehead and touched the wound with her hand. There was no wound at all. Except for the injury medicine on her hand, the skin was smooth and delicate. There was no sign of a wound at all. Go and wash off the injury medicine. Lin Yi smiled. It's really done. Han Jingjing didn't expect that Lin Yi actually reached out and touched it, and it healed her wound. Isn't it too magical? Won't you know if you see it yourself? Said Lin Yi. Han Jingjing quickly ran to the bathroom. There was an exclamation in the bathroom, and then there was the sound of water washing her face. After a while, Han Jingjing ran out of the bathroom. She was excited. Big brother Lin Yi, it's really done. You're so amazing. Jingjing admires you so much. Lin Yi was a little embarrassed by Han Jingjing. He really didn't know what to say to be admired by a genius girl. In fact, Lin Yi's road to success was really difficult. The only lucky possibility was that his physique was just right to practice the art of dragon mastery. In addition, Lin Yi put in more effort than others, so he had some magical powers that seemed very powerful today. However, Lin Yi was also aware of his own shortcomings. His strength today came entirely from hard work and coincidences. Lin Yi couldn't compare to the disciples of the hidden aristocratic families, and he couldn't compare to the disciples of the ancient sects and ancient aristocratic family. Without the space of the jade pendant, Lin Yi might still be at the golden rank. It was fine if he didn't have a master to guide him. It could be said that on the road of cultivation, Lin Yi didn't even have a person to consult. Chapter 2043. His master left when he was a few years old, and old Lin didn't even know as much as Lin Yi did. The only person who could be called his second master was Jiao Yazi, but he had a bad memory. So on the path of cultivation, Lin Yi had to figure it out himself. What was worse was that Lin Yi didn't have a master to guide him, and he didn't have any treasures to use. The only pill he had was probably the chi-gathering pill. He was a world of difference compared to the disciples of the ancient sects and noble houses who had been using spiritual herbs since they were young. But what Lin Yi had was a stubborn and hardworking heart. He had never given up before, and he'd been trying his best to make up for the difference between him and the disciples of the hidden houses and the disciples of the ancient sect. Xiao Xiao was a golden class in a month, and Naipao was a mystic late-phase peak in a few months. Lin Yi could only be envious. Fortunately, the jade space was a godly item, and Lin Yi was able to leave his opponents far behind. Of course, the jade space was only making up for the lack of chi in the air. If there was enough chi in the air, the art of dragon mastery alone would be enough for him to stand at the top of the world of practitioners. Of course, Lin Yi didn't complain about it. Solo practitioners naturally couldn't compare to the disciples of the noble houses and sects. Lin Yi's achievements today were already very good. I'm not really good, just good at healing, Lin Yi said faintly. Right, What were you doing before? Why did you make such a loud noise? I heard it from the villa next door. Actually, the cauldron that we bought together exploded. Han Jingjing frowned when she mentioned the previous matter. Jingjing originally wanted to refine an ordinary yellow-rank first-grade medicinal pill, the energy recovery pill, but I didn't expect that when I refined it according to the recipe, the medicinal pill didn't succeed, and the cauldron exploded. Lin Yi was stunned. That medicine cauldron is made of copper, so its quality should be pretty good. Why did it suddenly explode? Jingjing doesn't know either. Jingjing has already converted the pill formula's condensation technique into a temperature and time curve. She only needs to follow the curve and time to control the alchemy fire's temperature and intensity. Jingjing's calculation is already very accurate. In theory, it should have succeeded, but the medicine cauldron exploded. Could it be that this cauldron can't be used for alchemy? Lin Yi frowned. But in theory, a cauldron made of copper should be very sturdy. You can't concoct pills? Is there a need for a specialized cauldron? Han Jingjing also looked at Lin Yi with some doubt. Let me ask. Lin Yi took out his phone. He wanted to call Boss Bai directly, but when he thought that he didn't have any achievements in alchemy, he was a little discouraged. If Boss Bai asked, Lin Yi couldn't hide it, but if he told the truth, how could Lin Yi explain the explosion of the medicine cauldron? Lin Yi didn't want anyone to know about Han Jingjing's matter for the time being. This was a trump card in his hands. Lin Yi didn't want Han Jingjing to be targeted by some forces. After all, Han Jingjing's alchemy skills were quite popular even in the ancient sects. So, after hesitating for a while, Lin Yi called Bai Weituo directly. In theory, as Boss Bai's grandson, even if Bai Weituo didn't know alchemy, he should know a lot about alchemy. After all, Bai Weituo also said that he learned a lot from Boss Bai. Big brother Lin, why did you suddenly call me? Bai Weituo was a little surprised to receive Lin Yi's call. Today was Sunday. Bai Weituo was sleeping in the dormitory early in the morning. He hadn't gotten up yet, and Lin Yi's call came in. Weituo, I have something to ask you, said Lin Yi. Big brother Lin, if there's anything, just say it. Why do you need to ask? Don't be so distant. I will tell you everything I know. Bai Weituo was very grateful to Lin Yi for going to Tiger Park yesterday. He Meiyue's impression of him was also a lot better. At least he had successfully gotten He Meiyue's QQ number, and he could chat with He Meiyu online. It's about alchemy, said Lin Yi. Alchemy, I really don't know much about this. If you have knowledge in this area, you'd better ask my grandfather. When Bai Weituo heard Lin Yi's question, he quickly said, Big brother Lin, it's not that I don't want to answer, but I really know too much. Don't worry, it's just a simple question. Lin Yi said, the cauldron used for alchemy, an imitation antique from the antique street, is that okay? What? Bai Weituo heard Lin Yi's question and froze. He didn't know whether to laugh or cry. How is that possible? Even if it's a real antique, if it's not designed according to the requirements and specifications of an alchemist, it can't be used for alchemy. It's a handicraft. If it's used for alchemy, the cauldron will explode. It can explode. Lin Yi sweated. It seemed that Han Jingjing's explosion wasn't for nothing. Even a real antique that wasn't used for alchemy could explode, not to mention an imitation cauldron. Not having a good teacher to teach them was a waste. Lin Yi was speechless. He and Han Jingjing were thinking too much. Lin Yi saw from Zhongliju's notes that the cauldron used for alchemy didn't need to be too special. A normal copper or iron cauldron could do the job. But Lin Yi neglected one point, and that was that alchemists had their own cauldrons. These cauldrons could be made of copper or iron, but the ones sold on the street were trash. They couldn't be used for alchemy at all. But Zhongliju didn't explain it clearly. In fact, if Zhongliju's notes were seen by a disciple of a hidden house or an ancient sect, they'd definitely understand that the cauldron in here was a specialized cauldron. They wouldn't be like Lin Yi and think that it was a normal cauldron sold on the street. This was also why Yupanhu found it strange when he heard that Lin Yi and Han Jingjing went to the antique street and bought 2 broken cauldrons. Something that even the worst alchemist didn't use. Why would Lin Yi and Han Jingjing buy it? Did they think that they could use it to make elixirs? They didn't even know if they could use it or not. Yeah, normal cauldrons can explode for sure. If you want to make elixirs, you need a specialized cauldron for the alchemist, and it has to be of the same level. For example, a first-level elixir needs a first-level cauldron. Of course, a second-level cauldron can not only make a second-level elixir, but also a first-level elixir. Bai Weituo still had this bit of knowledge. What, boss, don't tell me you've learned alchemy already. That's really fast. Chapter 2044. Not yet, I'm just asking. Lin Yi smiled bitterly. Right, do you have a good cauldron that can be used for alchemy? There is one, but Grandpa already planned to pass it to his last disciple. Bai Weituo said, you know that my brother and I don't have this talent, so my grandpa didn't want to pass it to us at all. Just one. There's nothing else. Even if it's a little inferior? Lin Yi was a little disappointed. Boss Bai only had one cauldron, and he passed it to his last disciple. It seemed that even if he learned alchemy, he wouldn't have a share. No. Bai Weituo shook his head and said, Grandpa is particular about quality over quality. This is the cauldron he used before, and it's the only one. Okay, thank you, I understand. After understanding the truth, Lin Yi didn't say anything more. Since Boss Bai only had one cauldron, and he passed it to his last disciple, then Lin Yi wouldn't ask Boss Bai anymore. It would be useless even if he asked. However, where could he buy a suitable cauldron for an alchemist? Haosu definitely had it, but if Haosu did, with the relationship between Lin Yi and Haosu might not sell it. Ice Palace probably had it too, and they could get it too, but it wasn't worth it to trouble Crystal Candy for such a small matter. Moreover, he had boasted that he was going to become a golden class third-level alchemist, and after such a long time, he didn't even have a cauldron, let alone becoming an alchemist. He would probably be laughed at by Crystal Candy. Lin Yi held back his anger in front of Crystal Candy. Sooner or later, she would dig her eyes out, so Lin Yi didn't plan to make Crystal Candy despise him even more because of this small matter. Now, the only thing that Lin Yi could rely on to get a cauldron was the hidden house Yu, the hidden house Zhao, and the hidden house Han. The possibility of the hidden house Yu getting the cauldron was the highest. After all, the hidden house Yu was an old hidden house with strong connections. They weren't any weaker than the hidden house Yu. As long as the hidden house Yu asking for a normal cauldron from the hidden house Yu would be a piece of cake. But the only person Lin Yi knew and could contact in House Yu was Yu Bing, and Yu Bing was training in the Ice Palace right now. If he wanted to find Yu Bing, he would have to go through the Ice Palace. Plus, Yu Bing was in the Ice Palace, and it wouldn't be easy for House Yu to get a cauldron for Lin Yi. So Lin Yi gave up on the idea and turned his attention to the other two hidden families. With the relationship between Lin Yi and Zhao Chikuan, asking for a cauldron shouldn't be a problem, but the problem was that Zhao Chikuan didn't have a high position in the hidden house. Even if they did, Zhao Chikuan might not be able to make them do it. Shaking his head, Lin Yi could only place his hopes on the hidden house hands, the new hidden house. He just didn't know if the hidden house hands had the connections to get a cauldron. Listening to the hidden Han family, they were already being oppressed and coveted by the other hidden families. Asking them to help them get a medicine cauldron was probably not very likely. How is it, Lin Yi bro? Han Jingjing asked worriedly, seeing Lin Yi frowning after the call. This cauldron can't be used for elixir making. Lin Yi smiled bitterly. If you use this cauldron to make elixirs, the cauldron will explode. Ah, no wonder my cauldron exploded. Jingjing thought it was something else. Han Jingjing understood. That means Jingjing was right. It's the cauldron's problem. That should be the case. Don't try to make elixirs for now. I'll think of a way to get you a cauldron in the next few days. Lin Yi said. Okay, Lin Yi bro. Han Jingjing nodded. Hidden house you coiling tiger. You said that Lin Yi got some information on elixir making from Boss Bai? Yu Zhentian listened to Yu Coiling Tiger's narration and frowned. He was a little unhappy. What did Lin Yi do to make Boss Bai think so highly of him? Yes, although I didn't hear it very clearly, I heard some key points clearly from the intermittent conversation at the door. Yu Coiling Tiger said, Boss Bai wants to take Lin Yi as his disciple and teach Lin Yi some knowledge on elixir making. When Lin Yi went out, he took a book of information. It must have been given to him by Boss Bai. If that's the case, it's worth it for our house Yu to find a way to exchange for that information. The key is Lin Yi willing to exchange? Yu Zhentian also knew that Yu Coiling Tiger and Lin Yi weren't on good terms, and the relationship between the entire house Yu and Lin Yi wasn't very good either. However, fortunately, Lin Yi didn't know that Yu Shisan came from the hidden house Yu, so the relationship between the two wasn't too stiff. If there were enough benefits, Lin Yi might be tempted. Uncle, I think we can definitely exchange for Lin Yi. The key is what we can give him, Yu Coiling Tiger said. No matter how powerful Lin Yi is, he's just a loose cultivator and a poor bastard. He even went to the antique street to buy a trash cauldron. This kind of person definitely doesn't have anything valuable on him, so if we take out something that can move him, he'll definitely compromise. Oh, went to the antique street to buy trash cauldrons? Yu Zhentian raised his eyebrows. This Lin Yi can't be that bad, right? After all, he has some connections with the Ice Palace. Why would he go buy trash? What the hell does he have to do with the Ice Palace? Palace Master Bingtang is just giving Lin Yi some face because of Xiao Xiao and Tang Yun. I dare say that Lin Yi wouldn't be able to get Bingtang to help him right now, Yu Coiling Tiger said with certainty. That's true. Yu Zhentian believed that as well. Otherwise, there was no way the Ice Palace wouldn't know about 3 Earth-class masters going to assassinate Lin Yi. But even now, no one from the Ice Palace came out to investigate this. This meant that Bingtang didn't care about Lin Yi at all. Master Yu, I've thought of something that we can exchange for, Huang Mao suggested carefully. Oh, Huang Mao, what do you think we should exchange? Yu Zhentian looked at Huang Mao. Cauldrons. Since Lin Yi went to the antique street to buy cauldrons, that means that Lin Yi doesn't have any good cauldrons, at least not a good one. Or, his previous cauldrons were broken, or else he wouldn't have gone there to buy cauldrons, Huang Mao said, and since he went to the antique street to buy cauldrons, that means that Lin Yi doesn't have any other way to get cauldrons. He's a loose cultivator, so he can only go there to try his luck. But it's very likely that he didn't see a cauldron he liked, so he bought some trash to make up the numbers. Chapter 2045. Can that trash do alchemy? Won't the cauldron explode? Yu Zhentian said, are you sure he went to buy a medicine cauldron because he doesn't have one himself and not because of something else? I'm not sure. The yellow hair shook his head. I'm just guessing. However, this is a way. Yu Zhentian nodded and said, Pan Hu, bring 2 medicine cauldrons in a while. 1 first-grade medicine cauldron and 1 second-grade medicine cauldron. First, use the first-grade medicine cauldron to exchange with Lin Yi. If he refuses, then take out the second-grade medicine cauldron. Remember, don't use the second-grade medicine cauldron if you can. Although the Hidden Yu family was an alchemy family, they didn't have a lot of medicine cauldrons. It was okay to have a first-grade medicine cauldron as they had a lot of stock, but there weren't many second-grade medicine cauldrons. One had to know that medicine cauldrons could only be made by high-level alchemist. Many of the second-grade medicine cauldrons in the family came from the heavenly elixir sect. As for a third-grade medicine cauldron, even a high-ranked alchemist would not be able to forge it. Only a blacksmith could forge it. However, in this world, blacksmiths were pitifully rare. Not to mention the hidden aristocratic families, even ancient sects and ancient aristocratic families did not have such existences. The only place that could confirm that there were blacksmiths was that place. Of course, these weren't the Hidden Yu family's concerns. The Hidden Yu family also had third-grade medicine cauldrons, but they absolutely couldn't take them out to exchange with others. The entire Hidden Yu family only had 2 third-grade medicine cauldrons. Yes, uncle. I'll go talk to Lin Yi when I go to school tomorrow. Yu Pan who nodded and said, by the way, how's your cultivation strength? Yu Zhentian didn't have any other thoughts about Yu Pan who now. From the arrangement of the Yu family's elder, Yu Pan who would definitely develop into the next generation of elders. Yu Pan who was very talented in alchemy, so the Yu family's elder sent him to Donghai Industry University to learn alchemy from Boss Bai. Of course, as long as Yu Pan who didn't compete with Yu Zhentian's son, Yu Pan Long, then Yu Zhentian didn't have to worry about anything. Although the elders had a lot of power in the family, they still had to listen to the family master. Therefore, Yu Zhentian was also concerned about Yu Coiling Tiger's cultivation homework. Once Yu Coiling Tiger grew up, it would be a great thing for the Yu family's future. Uncle, you also know that I have talent in alchemy, but in terms of cultivation, I can't bear too much hardship. Even if Yu Zhentian didn't mention it, Yu Coiling, who was planning to find a chance to complain in the near future. After talking about Lin Yi today, he didn't want to say anything else, but since his uncle brought it up, he naturally wouldn't let go of this good opportunity. My strength is too weak, I'm only at the peak of the late phase of the golden class. Maybe it's because my level is too low, so Boss Bai doesn't like me and didn't teach me more alchemy. That's true. That Lin Yi is already an earth rank, at least in the late stage of earth rank. He should be at the peak of the late stage of earth rank. It's understandable that Boss Bai favors him. Yu Zhentian nodded his head and said, how about this? I'll write a list for you. Take this list to the elixir storage and collect 10 spirit gathering pills and 2 spirit gathering pills for your cultivation. Yes. Yu Coiling, who was overjoyed after hearing Yu Zhentian's words. With these 2 pills, his strength would improve by leaps and bounds. Spirit gathering pill was a yellow rank 1 elixir. This kind of elixir was actually similar to the spirit gathering pill, but the effect was much worse. Spirit gathering pill was an elixir for cultivators below the mystic class to quickly increase their strength, but it was useless for mystic class. Of course, the effect of this spirit gathering pill was not as good as the spirit gathering pill, but it didn't have the drawbacks of the spirit gathering pill. Because the energy contained in the spirit gathering pill was not pure and domineering, people who took the spirit gathering pill could still continue to absorb the spiritual energy of heaven and earth to cultivate. Therefore, spirit gathering pill was very popular among the hidden families. Although many hidden families also had yellow rank 1 elixir masters, their success rate was not high. Therefore, the Yu family still had a lot of market, and they could rely on spirit gathering pill to earn a lot of money. The essence gathering pill, on the other hand, was a higher grade of cultivation elixir. It was meant for cultivators who were above the mystic class and below the earth class. It could quickly increase the strength of a mystic class master, but it wouldn't have much effect on an earth class master. However, the cost of spirit gathering pill was hundreds or even thousands of times more than spirit gathering pill. After all, spirit gathering pill required a yellow rank 2 elixir master to make, and there was no guarantee of 100% success rate. Taking into account the chi consumption and failure rate of the elixir master, this spirit gathering pill was priceless. This was also the reason why the disciples of the hidden houses could easily cultivate to the peak of the late phase of the golden class or the early phase of the mystic class. Because spirit gathering pills were not very valuable, and when the peak of the late phase of the golden class broke through to the early phase of the mystic class, they only needed to take 10 spirit gathering pills at the same time. Even so, of course, this was only limited to the hidden houses. The noble houses did not have this kind of treatment. Even if they wanted to buy spirit gathering pills, there was no way to buy it. The only one that had contact with the hidden house Yu was the common house Yu, but the hidden house Yu did not rely on elixir making. The spirit gathering pills made by the first level elixir master were not enough for their disciples, so how could they give it to the common house Yu? It was already good enough if they could give them a few as rewards. Yu Zhentian gave Yu Coiling Tiger 10 spirit gathering pills at once, but only gave him 2 spirit gathering pills. This meant that spirit gathering pills were not valuable, but spirit gathering pills were. However, the effects of the spirit gathering pill were very overbearing. Even with 2, it could easily increase the strength of a practitioner from the early phase of the mystic class to the middle phase. 1 spirit gathering pill was not a problem at all. This was also the reason why Yu Coiling Tiger was ecstatic. One had to know that the spirit gathering pill was a treasure that even house Yu didn't have much of. Other hidden houses wanted to buy it, but they didn't have it. They would only sell it at a high price in auctions, and so Yu Coiling Tiger was able to get 2 of them. It was enough to show that Yu Zhentian was starting to value him and was raising him as an elder of the house. Holding Yu Zhentian's list, Yu Coiling Tiger first went to the elixir store to collect elixir pills, then went to the armory to collect 2 first-grade and second-grade medicinal cauldrons. After doing all this, Yu Coiling Tiger returned to his room to cultivate. With the elixir in hand, You coiling tiger couldn't wait to increase his strength from the peak of the late phase of the golden class to the early phase of the mystic class. On Monday morning, you coiling tiger came to school with high morale. He was now an early phase of the mystic class. After taking 10 spirit gathering pills, he easily broke through the barrier and became a mystic class early phase. Chapter 2046. This was the advantage of being a disciple of a hidden house. If it was a disciple of a normal house, they might not be able to break through the golden class and reach mystic class. Even if it was the head of the house, mystic class was already a top-notch master, but in a hidden house, it was nothing, especially a hidden house like Houseu that relied on alchemy as a profession. However, looking at the empty classroom, Yu Panhu was a little depressed. It seemed that he couldn't do things early. In a university classroom, unless it was time for class, no one would come so early. If everyone had the time, they might as well stay in the dormitory for a while. Who would run to the classroom so early in the morning? It was more popular to study at noon and at night, but there were fewer people studying in the morning. Let's go downstairs and see, to welcome that Lin Yi. Coiling tiger right looked at the time and said. Then, should we take the cauldron down? Yellow hair asked. Take it. You and purple hair each take one. When the time comes, whichever one I tell you to take out, you take it out. Coiling tiger right instructed. Okay. Yellow hair and purple hair replied at the same time. The three went downstairs and walked towards the parking lot of the biology building. Coincidentally, Lin Yi had just driven Meng Yaro, Yu Shu, Han Jingjing, and Han Xiaochao to school, and Lin Yi and Han Jingjing were also walking towards the biology building. Lin Yi bro, last night, Jingjing simplified and improved the method of condensing and controlling the first and second level fire. Now, Jingjing can condense a first level fire in 10 seconds, and a second level fire in 30 seconds. Han Jingjing said, Lin Yi bro gave Jingjing the refiner's notes, it's really good stuff. As Han Jingjing spoke, Coiling Tiger right had already run over. He didn't hear the first half of Han Jingjing's words, but he heard the latter part clearly. Han Jingjing said that Lin Yi gave her some refiner's notes, it was really good stuff. Coiling Tiger right's heart moved, and he was a little annoyed. Motherfucker, this Lin Yi was really a pervert. He kept having beauties around him, and in just a few days, he got together with Han Jingjing again, and from the looks of it, Han Jingjing also wanted to learn alchemy. Lin Yi naturally saw Coiling Tiger right, but it was too late to stop Han Jingjing. Han Jingjing had already finished the second half of her sentence, and Lin Yi could only cough twice to signal her to stop. Someone was coming. Ha, isn't this the great refiner Lin Yi Lin? What a coincidence. This time, Coiling Tiger right, Coiling Tiger right, Tiger right, Coiling Tiger right, Coiling Tiger right, Tiger right, Coiling 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 right, Coiling Tiger was, Coiling Tiger. For a rogue cultivator like Lin Yi, it was already good enough for him to have a slightly better medicinal cauldron. It was impossible for him to have an extra one for Han Jingjing, so it was normal for him to accompany Han Jingjing to buy it. However, it was impossible to use the trash bought from the street stalls for alchemy. Yu Panhu, what's wrong with you again? Why aren't you in class this early in the morning? What are you doing here? Lin Yi said faintly, but then he said, huh? I didn't see it coming. A scholar who has been away for 3 days must be looked at with new eyes. You actually broke through? From yellow to mystic. Haha, you also noticed. You Coiling Tiger didn't hide his mystic early phase aura, so he didn't think it was strange for Lin Yi to see through it. How about it? Jealous? Envy? What's wrong with you? I'm an Earth class, jealous of you? Lin Yi frowned. You came here just to show off that you've become a mystic? Is there anything else? Of course there is. You Coiling Tiger quickly said, Lin Yi, the information that Boss Bai gave you, what do you want? Lin Yi's face suddenly showed a vigilant expression. Why are you so nervous? I'm not going to steal it from you. I just want to borrow it to take a look. You Coiling Tiger saw Lin Yi's poker face and was a bit depressed. He wanted to turn into a beautiful woman and make Lin Yi give the information to him. From Coiling Tiger's perspective, as long as it was a beautiful woman, Lin Yi wouldn't reject it. How could he know that there was a reason why Lin Yi gave Han Jingjing such a good thing? It had nothing to do with whether Han Jingjing was a beautiful woman or not. No way. Boss Bai didn't let me lend it to anyone. Lin Yi said, if it's this matter, then please go ahead. Or you can borrow it directly from Boss Bai. After that, Lin Yi and Han Jingjing were ready to leave. Wait. How could you Coiling Tiger let Lin Yi go? If he went to the classroom and Boss Bai was next to him, his plan wouldn't be easy to implement. If any student saw it and complained to Boss Bai, it would be very disadvantageous to Coiling Tiger. What else? Lin Yi asked coldly, you can't be thinking that you're awesome now that you've become a mystic. Are you going to beat me up? Haha, how could that be? You Coiling Tiger suddenly shook his head. You, Lin Yi, are a master who can kill 3 Earth-class masters at the same time. Me beating you up? I'm not stupid. Don't provoke me. It's useless. Then what do you want to do? Lin Yi snorted and didn't say much. Wow, big brother Lin Yi, you're so powerful. You can kill 3 Earth-class masters in a second? Han Jingjing looked at Lin Yi with admiration. Jingjing admires you more and more. You Coiling Tiger frowned. This Han Jingjing in the class, other than Wang Xinyan, was considered the prettiest girl in the class. You Coiling Tiger originally planned to find a girlfriend in the school. Wang Xinyan was definitely impossible. Not to mention the conflict during the college entrance examination, Wang Xinyan wouldn't care about him at all. Just based on the relationship between Wang Xinyan and Lin Yi, he didn't want to interfere. If she was killed by that madman Lin Yi, it wouldn't be worth it. Although Boss Bai didn't allow trouble here, what if Lin Yi got angry and killed him at the risk of being expelled? This wasn't impossible. Therefore, You Coiling Tiger shifted his gaze to Han Jingjing. As a result, Han Jingjing got together with Lin Yi in less than 2 days. She called Lin Yi big brother and even worshipped Lin Yi. This matter was most likely hopeless. However, these were all small matters in You Coiling Tiger's eyes. Women's matters weren't urgent. The most important thing was to get the information in Lin Yi's hands. Therefore, he said, Lin Yi, as far as I know, you've already shown the information to Han Jingjing, right? Boss Bai doesn't allow others to see it. It should be that he doesn't allow people other than his students to see it, right? If that's the case, why can't you let me see it? Why should I let you see it? Lin Yi sneered at You Coiling Tiger and asked, are you threatening me? Target =_blank. Chapter 2047. This. Actually, Lin Yi, I didn't look at it for nothing. I used something good to exchange for it. As You Coiling Tiger said this, he winked at the yellow hair and said, take out the good medicine cauldron and show it to Lin Yi. Yes. Young master you. The yellow hair listened to You Coiling Tiger's instructions. He took out the yellow level 1st grade medicine cauldron in his hand and raised it in front of Lin Yi. Yellow level 1st grade medicine cauldron? There was a strange look in Lin Yi's eyes. You Coiling Tiger actually used the medicine cauldron to exchange for the information? Lin Yi really had the urge to laugh. Before this, he was still worried about where to buy the medicine cauldron. As a result, a fool came to his door the next day. However, although Lin Yi wanted to exchange, he couldn't show it too obviously on the surface. Otherwise, if You Coiling Tiger suffered a loss, he would definitely not let it go. In order to avoid trouble, Lin Yi intended to let him swallow this loss. Yes, it is the yellow level 1st grade medicine cauldron. You Coiling Tiger said proudly, how about it? You went to the antique street to buy a medicine cauldron before, right? If I'm not wrong, you should have bought it for Han Jingjing, right? But I can tell you responsibly that the medicine cauldron sold in the antique street, whether it is a real antique or an imitation, is a handicraft. It is impossible to use it for alchemy. If it is used for alchemy, the cauldron will explode. Looking at the medicine cauldron in the hands of the yellow hair, Lin Yi's heart suddenly moved. The medicine cauldron hidden in the Yu family was naturally the special medicine cauldron used by alchemists. In this regard, Lin Yi believed that You Coiling Tiger wouldn't lie to him. After all, You Coiling Tiger still couldn't grasp Lin Yi's true strength. He didn't know if Lin Yi was an alchemist or what level of alchemist he was. You guessed it right. The medicine cauldron did explode. Lin Yi said faintly, But I still don't want to exchange with you. You still don't want to exchange after the cauldron exploded? Yu Coiling Tiger listened to Lin Yi's contradictory words and was suddenly stunned. Why is that? Reason? In fact, it's very simple. The information that Boss Bai gave me is of no use to you. Your Hidden Yu family is a big business and is an alchemy family. Why would you be interested in such ordinary information? Lin Yi said lightly, so. I'm afraid you'll be at a disadvantage, so I won't trade with you. When Yu Coiling Tiger heard Lin Yi's words, it seemed as if he was thinking for Yu Coiling Tiger's sake. What he meant was that his information wasn't worth the price of his first-grade cauldron, so it was better if he didn't exchange for it. However, in Right Coiling Tiger's ears, these words had a different meaning. Yu Coiling Tiger felt that Lin Yi must have felt that this grade 1 medicine cauldron was too weak. She didn't want to trade with him, so she said those words on purpose. Therefore, Right Coiling Tiger took a deep breath and said calmly, Lin Yi, if you think the item is bad, just say it. I, Right Coiling Tiger, can also produce good items. How about this, a grade 2 medicine cauldron, do you want to trade or not? Rank 2. Lin Yi was incomparably shocked in his heart, but his face did not show it. He still looked at Right Coiling Tiger coldly. He said, you have a grade 2 medicine cauldron? Originally, it was already very good for Lin Yi to be able to use this tattered stall's information to exchange for a grade 1 medicine cauldron. Lin Yi really just wanted to make things difficult for Yu Coiling Tiger, so that after exchanging the medicine cauldron, he wouldn't feel that he was at a disadvantage. Therefore, he deliberately said these words. However, he didn't expect that this Right Coiling Tiger misunderstood his meaning and directly took out a grade 2 medicine cauldron. Of course, if there was a good thing, he would be a fool and it wasn't Lin Yi's style. Naturally, Right Coiling Tiger nodded at Purple Hair. He said, you take it out and let classmate Lin Yi take a look. Classmate Lin Yi, please take a look. This is a grade 2 medicine cauldron. Purple Hair took out a medicine cauldron from his chest and raised it in front of Lin Yi. How is it? You're also an alchemy master, so you should recognize it, right? This is a pure grade 2 medicine cauldron, made by a high-level alchemy master from the Heavenly Elixir sect. A grade 2 medicine cauldron made by the Heavenly Elixir sect. Lin Yi suddenly realized that a high-level alchemy master could make their own medicine cauldron. However, Lin Yi still had that indifferent expression on his face. I still don't really want to exchange. Fuck. Right Coiling Tiger thought that a grade 2 medicine cauldron was enough to move Lin Yi, but he didn't expect that he still didn't want to exchange. However, this time, Lin Yi's tone was a little loose. He said don't really want to exchange, which meant that Lin Yi was a little tempted, but his own conditions might not be enough. Therefore, Right Coiling Tiger held back his anger and asked patiently, Lin Yi, what do I need for you to be willing to exchange? Right Coiling Tiger, it's not that I don't want to exchange with you, but the information in my hands really shouldn't be of much use to you. Lin Yi said earnestly, I think your Hidden Yu family should not lack such information. Why do you still make it difficult for me? Boss Bai said that I can't show it to others casually. Yes, why not? Right Coiling Tiger said quickly, since you have shown it to Han Jingjing, I won't miss it, right? Han Jingjing is a new alchemy master, so this information is useful to her, but your alchemy level shouldn't be bad. It's useless to look at this information, said Lin Yi. Fuck, Lin Yi, why are you talking so much nonsense? I want to exchange for it. Even if I exchange for a pile of junk, it's also my willingness. Why are you worrying about it? Right Coiling Tiger finally couldn't help but say angrily, I'm willing to exchange. It's hard to buy my willingness. Do you know? If you think that my conditions are not suitable, just say it. Don't think that I don't know what you're thinking. Don't. You obviously think that one medicinal cauldron is too little, right? This. Lin Yi looked at the raging Right Coiling Tiger and sighed helplessly. It's not a lot, it's really not a lot. As expected, 2 medicinal cauldrons, 1 first-grade medicinal cauldron and 1 second-grade medicinal cauldron. How about it? 2 for 1, do you want to exchange or not? Give me a straightforward answer. Right Coiling Tiger took all the medicinal cauldrons in the hands of the yellow-haired and purple-haired people and sent them to Lin Yi. TSK. I really want these 2 medicinal cauldrons, but that information is really not worth this value. Lin Yi said with a bitter smile, right Coiling Tiger, you are my classmate now. I don't want to cheat you. Listen to my advice, it's better not to exchange. If you don't exchange, you'll be cheating me. Right Coiling Tiger was extremely excited as he held the 2 medicinal cauldrons and said, Lin Yi, if you are my classmate, you should help your classmate even more. Brother Lin Yi, why don't you exchange with him? Anyway, I also need a medicinal cauldron now, and he's quite pitiful. Han Jingjing said weakly. Chapter 2048. Lin Yi was really speechless, but he still said, alright, but I'll exchange with you. After the exchange, don't regret it. However, Lin Yi had to admit that Han Jingjing's interjection was really timely, giving Lin Yi an excuse to step down. Otherwise, Lin Yi would inevitably have to dawdle for a while. Whoever goes back on his word is a bastard. Right Coiling Tiger said resolutely. Alright, in fact, Jingjing just happens to be lacking medicine cauldrons, and you insist on exchanging, then I can only exchange. Lin Yi sighed and said, Jingjing, bring the medicine cauldrons over. Here you go. Right Coiling Tiger was afraid that Lin Yi would regret it, so when he heard Lin Yi agree, he directly stuffed the 2 medicine cauldrons to Han Jingjing. Anyway, in Boss Bai's class, Right Coiling Tiger was not afraid that Lin Yi would be greedy for his 2 medicine cauldrons and not give him the information. If that was really the case, Right Coiling Tiger did not mind telling on him. Han Jingjing happily carried the 2 cauldrons over, and Lin Yi, on the other hand, opened the folder that contained the textbooks that he carried with him and took out a file from it. It was exactly the mantra for condensing alchemy fire and the mantra for assisting alchemists that Boss Bai had copied for him. It's here, I'll give it to you. Lin Yi handed the document to Right Coiling Tiger. After you copy it, return it to me. This original is Boss Bai's, I still have to return it to him. Alright. Right Coiling Tiger nodded repeatedly in response. After taking the document that Lin Yi handed over, Right Coiling Tiger could not wait to open it, but when he opened the document, his expression suddenly changed. Next, he could not wait to quickly flip through the document, but as he flipped faster and faster, his expression became uglier and uglier. When he reached the last page of the document, Right Coiling Tiger's face had already turned livid. Lin Yi, you tricked me. Right Coiling Tiger said angrily, did Boss Bai give you this information? Yeah, you can ask Boss Bai if you don't believe me. Lin Yi said lightly. You know very well that I will not ask Boss Bai. You Coiling Tiger's eyes were about to spit fire. His 2 cauldrons. Although the Yu family still had some 1st grade and 2nd grade cauldrons, they couldn't be wasted like this. Oh, if you still don't believe me, you can naturally come with me when I return the documents, Lin Yi said indifferently. This. Coiling Tiger Right heard Lin Yi's words and knew that Lin Yi wouldn't lie to him. This information was probably given to him by Boss Bai. What Boss Bai gave Lin Yi, on the other hand, was only the introductory files of alchemists, not the files on skills at all. In the final analysis, he, Coiling Tiger Right, was fooled. He was fooled. He treated the introductory files in Lin Yi's hands as a treasure. He paid the price of 2 cauldrons in exchange for a useless file. Lin Yi, you know that this is the introductory files of alchemists. It is of no value to me. Why didn't you remind me? Coiling Tiger Right said angrily, you even cheated me of 2 cauldrons. Did you do it on purpose? I say, Coiling Tiger Right, are you retarded? I have been persuading you not to exchange before. Let me tell you, your hidden Yu family definitely doesn't lack this stuff. Lin Yi frowned and sneered, but what did you say? You said that you are willing. You are willing to exchange with me. I said that I am cheating you if I exchange with you, but you said that I am cheating you if I don't exchange. You forced me to exchange. What can I do? This. Coiling Tiger Right was suddenly speechless. He had no reason to refute Lin Yi's words. He said gloomily, then. I don't want to exchange anymore. You don't want to exchange anymore? You don't want to exchange anymore just because you say so? You have already read the files, and you say you don't want to exchange? Are you going to dig out your eyeballs or dig out your brain and erase the content you saw before? Lin Yi snorted and said, I don't have time to bother with you. Don't you want to copy this information? If you don't want to copy it, give it back to me. As Lin Yi said this, he snatched the files back from Coiling Tiger Right's hands. He ignored him and left with Han Jingjing. Coiling Tiger Right was aggrieved. He felt that he had suffered a huge loss. Although these 2 cauldrons were useless to him, they were very precious to the Hidden Yu family. They were given to Lin Yi for no reason. Who would be in a good mood? However, although Coiling Tiger Right was aggrieved, he couldn't say anything. He thought about it carefully. It was true that Lin Yi had been refusing before and even persuaded him not to exchange. It was him who asked to exchange with Lin Yi. So, who could be blamed for this? Of course, Coiling Tiger Right didn't think that Lin Yi was so kind and compassionate to persuade him not to exchange with him. Lin Yi was obviously loosening the reins only to grasp them better. Otherwise, why didn't Lin Yi tell him directly that the information that Boss Bai gave him was only the most basic mental cultivation method of an alchemist? If he had said it earlier, wouldn't he not exchange with him? And after the exchange, Lin Yi took the cauldron and left. He didn't pity him at all. It was obvious that Lin Yi was up to no good. He was tricking Coiling Tiger step by step. So Coiling Tiger Right was incomparably depressed. However, in Boss Bai's class, even if he was depressed, there was nothing he could do. Firstly, Lin Yi wasn't robbing, and secondly, he wasn't threatening. This exchange was fair and just. There weren't any other factors. Even if it was Boss Bai, Coiling Tiger Right wasn't in the right. So, Coiling Tiger Right could only swallow his broken teeth into his stomach. Motherfucker, Lin Yi tricked me, Coiling Tiger Right said hatefully. This guy will die a horrible death. I'll get back at him sooner or later. The yellow-haired and purple-haired didn't dare to speak carelessly at this time. Coiling Tiger Right was tricked, and they actually had some responsibility. They didn't notice the slightest detail and didn't stop Coiling Tiger Right in time. So, at this time, they were also afraid that Coiling Tiger Right would find trouble with them. Calm down, young Master Right. That Lin Yi obviously planned it well. He advanced step by step. We couldn't guard against it, the yellow-haired said. Yeah, young Master Right. Now, we can only learn from our mistakes. If you want to blame someone, blame that Lin Yi. He acted too well, making it hard for people to distinguish between the real and fake, the purple-haired also said. You too, think of a way for me now. Think of a good way. I want to discuss Lin Yi. We can't just let this go. Even if we can't get the cauldron back, we have to make Lin Yi suffer a bit. Coiling Tiger Right said, otherwise, I won't be able to sleep. Yes, young Master Right. We'll think of a way right now. The yellow-haired and purple-haired quickly nodded. Chapter 2049. Lin Yi and Han Jingjing walked in front. Han Jingjing hugged the 2 cauldrons with a smile on her face. Brother Lin Yi, that right Coiling Tiger is really a fool. That alchemy fire condensation mantra and auxiliary mental cultivation method are the most common things, yet he still wants to exchange it. Han Jingjing had already learned from Lin Yi that the alchemy fire condensation mantra and auxiliary mental cultivation method were cheap goods. The alchemy fire condensation mantra that Lin Yi gave her was the real good stuff. However, Han Jingjing had gotten rid of both of them, and came up with a more scientific method to condense the refinement fire. So, in comparison, Han Jingjing's refinement fire condensing method was more important. Even if Lin Yi's refinement fire condensing method was given away, Han Jingjing's refinement fire condensing method couldn't be given away. Of course he's stupid. I'm afraid he's regretting it now. Lin Yi said faintly, Jingjing, you're not stupid either. What you said in front of Right Coiling Tiger just now was very timely. Jingjing is not stupid. Although compared to brother Lin Yi, Jingjing is a little stupid, but compared to others, Jingjing is very smart. Han Jingjing said seriously. Lin Yi looked at Han Jingjing's serious little face, but he couldn't see any clues. He shook his head. Perhaps Shu was overthinking. Han Jingjing was smart, but she wasn't that scheming. At least, Lin Yi couldn't feel any malice from her. Lin Yi was a very sensitive person. Back in the Primeval Forest, when he was doing missions, he'd been spying a lot of the time. It was easy for him to tell if someone was friend or foe. Han Jingjing, on the other hand, didn't give off the aura of an enemy, only a sense of honesty. She told Lin Yi everything she researched without reservation. From this point alone, Han Jingjing wouldn't be a bad person. Well, actually, compared to me, you're also very smart, Lin Yi said. Isn't that so? Jingjing knows her place. She's not as powerful and smart as big brother Lin Yi. Han Jingjing said, in the past, Jingjing has never admired or worshipped anyone, but after seeing big brother Lin Yi, Jingjing feels that big brother Lin Yi is very powerful. Lin Yi walked into the classroom with Han Jingjing. They'd gotten to know each other quite a bit, but Han Jingjing still took the seat behind him on her own accord. She didn't fight with Xinyan over it. Wang Xinyan, on the other hand, sat in her seat, quietly reading a book as usual. Morning, Lin Yi said. Haha, morning. Xinyan raised her head and smiled at Lin Yi. Fan Ganhe hasn't harassed you these past 2 days, right? Lin Yi knew that Zhong Duopan would find excuses to call him Yu, and Fan Ganhe would use this opportunity to look for Xinyan as well, but he didn't have anything to talk to her about. Xinyan wouldn't want to pick up his calls after 2 times, but Fan Ganhe wouldn't give up every time. Not these past 2 days, Xinyan shook her head, but it's fine if you call me again, I'm not going to pick up. Right, you and Yarrow Yarrow seem to be getting along well? This was also the question Lin Yi wanted to ask Xinyan. She seemed to be getting along well with Meng Yarrow the other day, so Lin Yi was wondering what the two were talking about. Yarrow Yarrow's a good person, maybe there was some misunderstanding between us before, but now that I've explained everything, everything's fine. Xinyan, naturally, wouldn't tell Lin Yi what Meng Yarrow told her. It'd be too embarrassing. Is that so? Seeing that Xinyan didn't want to talk about it, Lin Yi didn't ask. After a while, Pan Hu Right brought the yellow-haired and purple-haired boys into the classroom with a depressed look on their faces. He looked at Lin Yi hatefully before sitting down in his seat. Looking at Han Jingjing fiddling with the 2 cauldrons not far away, Yu Coiling Tiger became more and more certain that Lin Yi must have asked for these cauldrons for Han Jingjing, and the introductory mental cultivation method and the alchemy fire condensation chant were also given to Han Jingjing from Boss Bai. Perhaps Lin Yi didn't want to share his art with others, so he asked for a common one from Boss Bai. Coincidentally, he thought that it was something good, and gave Han Jingjing 2 cauldrons for free. Not long after Pan Hu Right came, Boss Bai came as well, starting today's class. At noon, not long after class, Lin Yi's phone rang. Lin Yi picked it up and saw that it was Han Xiaopa's number. Hello. Han Xiaopa. Lin Yi picked up the phone. Senior Lin, it's me. Han Xiaopa said, you received the message from before, right? I've prepared the color steel. Yes, Lin Yi said. Han Xiaopa said that he would give the color steel the next day, but because Lin Yi was busy with Xu Shahan, he didn't have much time to see Han Xiaopa. Han Xiaopa, on the other hand, somehow got the news that Lin Yi invited Xu Shahan to perform, so he sent a message to tell Lin Yi to attend to the freshman party first and come find Lin Yi after it was over. Senior Lin, congratulations on getting first place in the freshman party, Han Xiaopa said with a smile. You know about it. Lin Yi was puzzled when he heard that Han Xiaopa seemed to be very familiar with Lin Yi's things. Hehe, it's like this. Our hidden Han family has a few distant relatives studying at Donghai Industry University. I was able to get some information from them. Han Xiaopa didn't hide it. I see. Lin Yi wasn't surprised at all. Even Pan Hu Right came to school here, and it was normal for someone from the hidden house to come here as well. To put it bluntly, the hidden houses were still people. While some of the top masters were in isolation and focused on training, there were still many disciples who came out to train and learn in the common world. Senior Lin, are you free at noon? I'm at the entrance of Donghai Industry University right now. I've brought the color steel, Han Xiaopa said. I'm free at noon, where are you? Lin Yi asked. I'm at the school entrance. I didn't want to disturb Senior Lin's class, so I didn't text or call in advance. Han Xiaopa said. Okay, wait for me at the school entrance. Lin Yi said. Lin Yi hung up the phone and said goodbye to Bai Weituo before leaving. Otherwise, everyone would go to the cafeteria for lunch every day. At the school entrance, Lin Yi saw Han Xiaopa from afar. Han Xiaopa was very low-key today. He didn't bring anyone with him, and he drove a Mercedes S600 instead of a sports car.